Testing. Okay. Okay. Just get this chat to pop out. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So just make sure anyone's in the room. Okay. All right. We're just testing the stream right now. I want to make sure everyone can hear me, or at least I can be heard. All right. Go. Okay. All right. So there's a couple viewers in the chat. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. So today's stream is called Versus Battle Q&A, Critique and Future Channel Plans. So what's going on right now is I currently have something happening with the channel at the current moment. And that's going to be due to a delay, having to relocate under emergency circumstances. And because of these emergency circumstances, we are going to be going off of just that itself. But I'm here now to, give some of that intel. And as well as we're going to just have a little fun stream to at least hold you guys over as well until more content can be uploaded. I mean, I had a lot more content to be uploaded on like a 3-day basis. So every 2 to 3 days, I would have content uploaded. I was trying to move a lot quicker. But right now, things would be held back because of that. Also, I want to say hello, Jagan King. Hello, Isaac. How are you guys been? And yes, Isaac, to answer your question, I have seen SCP characters in the Versus Battle Wiki. But today I'm also going to be kind of going over a little bit of the Versus Battle Wiki and a couple of things I disagree with as well. And then let's see, Jagan King, thoughts on Netflix is the Daredevil and the Punisher. I have to check that out. I'll definitely give it a look when I get a chance. I'll have to receive the Netflix passcode from my siblings. And anyone, and the person who just liked this video just now, I just see the likes. I have to say thank you very much. And everyone else in the chat. For those who stick around for the rest of the stream, I may be giving a possible prize, if possible, but right now it's because I'm trying to be more active for you guys. And I have to say thank you guys for all the support you've given me over the time. We're almost at 500 subscribers, which, for me, that's really good. I feel great to know that. So thank you guys again. Let's see here. So we get something from Aiden Turnbull. Bro, do you think Vegeta has since schizophrenia? I do, since there was a part in Dragon Ball Z that Vegeta had Android 18 voice in his head after his defeat of Android 18. Vegeta seems to have some type of traumatization when he loses a battle, and this is due to his pride. He's a person who doesn't like to lose, and he's lost not too many battles for the most part, and when he has to lose, it hurts him in the inside because he sees himself as an elite because of the way he was raised. Now let's read the next comment. Jagan King says, Daredevil and The Punisher are amazing shows. I highly recommend them both. All right, Jagan King, I want to say thank you very much for the recommendation. I'll definitely give them a look. I am going to be getting one of the pages onwards. So we're going to be doing two types of critique. I'm going to be giving a critique on some of the comments. So you guys are going to be seeing me react to live comments on the Versus Battle Wiki. And at the same time, hold on, let me do something with this window. So you guys can, so we can at least have like a, yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, we're gonna go full screen. So I'm gonna be doing something at the same time that allows me to, you know, be at full interaction. But let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me know when you guys are ready. We're gonna be giving these guys. I'm going to be seeing what they have for them. But first, let me go ahead and go over a couple things that I may have discussed in my last Discord conversation. So before I do that, let me first open up a separate window for my Discord. Because I do remember going over a couple of discussions with a few friends. So give me one moment. I'm going to grab my phone. And then I'm going to look at it there so I don't have to pull it up on the screen. And then we're going to look at a couple pages. And I'm going to be showing you guys one of the things I don't like. So first, let's go ahead and do that. But let me just read a couple things. Toho, I don't believe so. So I don't believe seeing Toho. And I apologize if that's not what you're looking for. But if I do get a chance, I will open my mind up and open up my inventory of series I need to check out. Now, do you think that if Goku and Vegeta teamed up against Cell in the Cell games that they would have beat him like regular Perfect Cell? To be honest, I don't think so. Vegeta did not have mastered grade. He didn't have grade 4 of Super Saiyan, so he didn't master it. So he wasn't able to utilize the full capacity of Super Saiyan power. As it stated, Goku is far above Vegeta. Goku already knew how to use grade 2, grade 3, grade 1, but he said grade 4 was the most efficient for combat, as well as, according to Daizenshu, they can raise their powers as they fight. So, given that Goku couldn't even beat a suppressed Cell, like Cell actually could have one-shot Goku if he felt like it, or he could have at least beat Goku a lot easier than he actually did. But Goku wasn't even sure. I mean, Goku still pulled up a decent fight. The anime makes you think he did really well, but in reality, he was getting mopped overall. Cell was just interested in seeing how strong Goku was, and Cell has Saiyan cells, so he also has the personality traits of a Saiyan, where he likes to hold back. Vegeta wouldn't stand a chance, not at all. So that's my thoughts on that. I don't think they would stand a chance again. Just give me one moment. I'll be back in like 15 seconds. Okay, we are back. I think that was more like 11 seconds, but that's okay. All right, so again, everyone who's part of the stream, I have to say thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to prepare. We're going to be looking at a couple things that are going to be interesting. So get ready for this. First, I'm going to start off by saying, what is up with light novel characters in the Versus Battle Wiki? So, anyone in the chat who has seen my recent dimensional tiering video, just type 0. If you can, you get a chance, type 0 if you've seen the recent dimensional tiering video I just did. Not the stream, not the live stream. I did a recent video for analysis, and I believe it was episode 4. So if anyone's seen episode 4, let me know. We're gonna be. I gotta show you guys some cool things you may have, not known about. Welcome to this. Welcome to the stream, Buddy Biggs. It's okay, Isaac. I'm glad you've seen it. So I mean, Isaac may have seen it, but if you guys didn't, that's fine. Thank you so much, Isaac, for the comment, and thank you for watching, of course. So even if you didn't see it, that's fine. The video will always be there, so you can watch it after. But I'm going to go over a couple things. So let me first start up and open the window. So I'm pretty sure you guys know who this character is. Okay? I think everyone knows who Reinheart is. He's an actual person in real life, but there's an anime variant of him. But there are a couple of things that people are not 100% aware of when it comes to pertaining to him. And I'm going to be giving you guys some information on that. This isn't really based on him. This is just based on the Versus Battle Wiki in general. The Versus Battle Wiki has this problem, and we're going to talk about the problem when people use the term solo. So if I can express that here, people use the term solo too much, and they need to stop. This term is so overused. So Reinhardt is a character from a series called Daizire, which is an interesting series. It's like a light novel video game type of series as well. From what I've known about it, I've known about him for like years, but there's been a lot of problems I've had with the scaling of the series. And I've talked about this on the last stream about dimensional tiering when it came to Yumi Neko as well, because there are some things that have been kind of done that I don't like, and I'll explain why. So first, we got to talk about soloing, and I'll give you my thoughts on the new Dragon Ball Super in just a moment. But before I do that, I just want to say the problem is people love to use the term solo too loosely. So when you say, let's not even use him. Let's use Rimuru Tempest. Okay? Rimuru Tempest, a character I'm still learning about right now, because I do kind of find Rimuru Tempest a bit interesting. I think this character is kind of interesting. But I have a problem with how this character has been represented on forums and threads. And that has to do with because people believe, because they see this giant list of stuff, they assert that Rimuru has the capacity to solo Dragon Ball Super. Seriously. And you'll see this with like a lot of characters. You'll see people who think any character who's a light novel character or any character that looks cool and has an interesting and intricate list of hacks can automatically beat Dragon Ball. You know, there's people who think Yuha from Bleach can beat Dragon Ball, which is hilarious. The reason it's hilarious is because a lot of people seem to be underestimating Dragon Ball, and I want you guys, and I'm sure a couple of you guys are fans of Dragon Ball, so I'm going to let you guys know a couple things. I've spoken with SSJ Ryu, okay? And SSJ Ryu and I have agreed to the same notion, and Andres Strozier. We've all agreed to the same point. I think even Seth the Programmer kind of said something about this too. There is a stigma against Dragon Ball. And that stigma is that everyone is trying to always outdo Dragon Ball. That's why you see, like, if I show you the verse, so let me show you the page So this is the discussion page on the Versus Battle Wiki. This is me. I'm Atari HB here with the little Star Fox profile picture. Here's the thing. Naruto, cool. Dragon Ball, Superman, Dragon Ball. See, this is Hajun from this is a character from the Daizire series. So I'll talk a little bit about that. But you see, Hajun is very strong from the Daizire, from what I know. But notice they're putting up base Goku because it's a spite matchup, kinda, because you're trying to put Goku up against a being who could destroy an infinite multiverse, right? And timelines. Why are you putting base Goku there rather than Mastered Ultra Instinct or something that can actually potentially scale to that? But they're not, because they wanna kind of get this whole notion that, oh, look at Hajun, they want Goku to lose. It's something that people get off to. They just like the idea of Goku losing a battle because Goku is so powerful. It's like, who could beat him? There's a lot of characters who could beat him, but people keep trying to look for characters who can beat him. And let's see, look at, again, Dragon Ball, another post in Dragon Ball related. And that's all you're seeing, Dragon Ball. So, for example, they're talking about the Goku versus a bunch of other characters, the Rider and all that stuff. Look at Goku runs a gauntlet versus the Rider, Azathoth. Like, come on, why are you making Goku fight these type of characters? This is stupid. I mean, maybe it's Xeno Goku, sure. I mean, a Capsule Court Goku. But, like, look at this. And again, Dragon Ball. So you guys see, the point is, everyone has something against Dragon Ball. There's always these people like, oh, this character could beat Goku, and Goku this, Goku that. They just want Goku to lose. And exactly, Buddy Biggs. Buddy Biggs, you will see this a lot. If you go to any thread, it's kind of like the old Google Plus. That's why I kind of like this site. But what they did with the update. But at the same time, it's still pretty annoying because it's just ridiculous. So many people constantly bringing up characters, all the time. Goku. Look at, even Smash Brothers Final Stand, Taboo, Galeem, and Darkon versus the Witches of Yumi Neko. And it's like, again, how do we really assert who the winner is? I mean, Yumi Neko itself is a light novel, but I'm going to get into the light novel a little bit later. Then you have General Zod, Dragon Ball again. Like, look at this. Dragon Ball. Krillin's in this. Who would win in a fight? If I were, just from judging from this list right here, Krillin destroys everyone on this list. If we're using this tournament of power scaling. Otherwise, Wonder Woman, I might give it to Wonder Woman. But regardless look at Beerus and Whis versus DC Universe. That doesn't make sense. Why would you put them up against the entire DC Universe knowing that you have characters like Lucifer Morningstar, Mixer Mixopickle, Batmite, and so on and so forth? That's stupid. Look at Dragon Ball again. And you guys get the point. There's always going to be Dragon Ball characters on these posts. Goku can't one-shot every character. Other characters can easily beat him. So why do people want Goku to lose so much? Exactly. There's characters Goku can't beat, and I even know who they are. Versus Battle Wiki may have some issues here and there, and not just power scaling. That mutual area for me. But the hypocrisy is what seems to be the problem with the site. So while the site itself... Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the site. It seems there's a lot of closed-mindedness. Remember Seth, the programmer, how he kind of went Akatsuki on the entire Versus Battle Wiki, and he kind of went Itachi versus the whole staff crew, and they had to even send him an apology note because he's been calling him out because people keep saying Roshi wasn't even moon level for 6 years. 6 years. So even when I was a child, when I was I think I started watching, let's go back to 1999. When I was watching Dragon Ball with my literal mother and older brother, I knew Roshi was moon level. How does a 4-year-old in 1999, a 5-year-old in 1999, know someone is moon level? That's stupid. But yeah. Versus battle admins, exactly. Isn't a bad thing. I agree with some and disagree with others. I do too, Hazama. Mr. Hazama, I agree with some things they put, some things I don't agree with. And I think it's in. So let's go back to my dimensional tiering. The point of my dimensional tiering video was to let you guys know that dimensional tiering is never going to be consistently stagnant with every verse. But I'm going to show you guys something. And there's going to be Daizire fans who may hate me. But I'm going to call out some things I know about Daizire based on what I'm seeing on the surface. And this is not me disagreeing. It's just, yeah. Oh, yes, Seth was Madara. I think that's more Chad and more appropriate for Seth's character. Seth was Madara in the versus battle Wiki. That's good. I like that analogy. That's good. Superman and Goku as well is a very interesting debate because it's an interesting debate, but it's also overdone so much. And the problem I have is that Goku is always underestimated. There's always limits put on Goku that just annoy me. And I'll talk about that in a bit. But let me just go into like this real quick. So here's Reinhardt. So he's an interesting character. You got his human form. Let's see. You got his restricted form, his Daizire, and the Atzuluth, and the Kamunagara, and the Kajiri Kamai Kagura. So you got all these different variants, and he's very powerful in each of them. No lie. And the problem is when I was talking to SSJ Rio, I asked him, "Yo, SSJ Rio, did you read this series?" And I say, "I've read a lot of respect threads, and I've seen the scans, and all of them seem to be missing information that supports the premise presented by the site." And let me give you an example. Notice Goku in Dragon Ball Super. We're going to look at his page later. Let's talk about this real quick. Check this out. So we go from 9A, 5A, which is like large planet, 3A, universal, 1A, high 1A, which is high outerversal, via throwing, unleashing the... I don't know what's going on. Through the light of Longinu Slanze. That sounds like something Ukiura threw at Ichigo. And the Testament of Gladshmir. At least 7A. Sorry about that, the dog. Sorry, that's Akamaru in the background. And then you have the higher, each swastika will eventually become high 1A. Look at this. Hold on. Okay, so sorry, Akamaru is just, he's upset because of the downplay. So, so as you guys see right here, what you should be asking is, how does he get to 1A? Because everyone in the chat, can we all admit, going from universal power to high outerversal is a huge freaking jump. Now let's read this. Will eventually become high outerversal with all 8 swastikas open. So I'm going to click that. And his law begins to emanate over the entire world, with his existence becoming that of a Hado god. So let's read this. The thing was trying to emanate, okay, to the outside of this town. Okay, I'm seeing the word town, to the outside world, okay, to paint the entire universe anew in its own color. Okay, so we get the term universe. This is not Dragon Ball. When they use the term universe in Dragon Ball in reference to the macroverse, we understand it's a lot larger. When we hear the term the DC universe or 52 universes, we know the DC universes are technically miniature multiverses that have higher level, spatial ranges. We know there's a 5th dimension that exists within each of them, that they get higher and higher and higher. To complex, to high complex, to hyperversal. We know DC has 52 general universes that have like different pocket dimensions that go into higher levels. We get that. Where is the context that this universe term here is outerversal? Nothing is telling us that anything. So that's just a scan that implies universal to me. It was trying to emanate from the city to the outside into the world, and further still until the whole sky was repainted in its color. That doesn't tell me anything. I didn't see the area. Let's see here. It says the area then Jesus or Yeshai, let's see, asked, etc. in the evil spirit, what do you... This doesn't tell me anything about outerversal. So if you want to prove someone's outerversal, you got to pull up scans like Beyonder. Beyonder, who says he's above the living tribunal in eternity, who is... The living tribunal who is above the concepts of time, space, spatial universes. Even the Beyonder is stated to be infinite spatial dimensions. There's scans that here. So as you can see right here, in this scan, let me open image, a new tab. See here, physical. So this is talking spatial because it says physical. Physical having but 3 dimensions instead of an infinite number. Such a thing was unknown to him. He's not used to being as a 3-dimensional being. He usually has an infinite number of these. This is a statement that I can say, all right, he's definitely infinite hyperversal plus to low outerversal. This is evidence. It's stated. This doesn't tell me anything. So do you guys get where I'm saying with this? Does anyone in the chat, am I losing you guys? You know? But I'm just trying to show you guys. So this is just one example. There's other characters such as, let's see, look up Methuselah. Let me see here. Oh, and then here. As a Hado god, Reinheart completely exists above and external to the expansion of all singularity, of which size corresponds to the inner depth of the throne god, reaching up to infinite levels, each transcending the last, which in turn utterly transcends the multiverse. No matter the qualitative dimensions layers it may have, to even the weakest god with Taikyo, an object that governs all creation, such as the throne, is nothing more than a tool. Said throne was destroyed in the battle between Reinhardt and Mercurius. Additionally, Reinhardt at his strongest has the Taikyo value of 90, making him one of the strongest possible Hado gods. Now here's the thing. How is this high outerversal? Even if you had infinite levels that transcend the last, that's hyperversal, high hyperversal plus. But even still, you want to know one thing we're missing from here? I'll give you guys like 30 seconds. Tell me, guys, what's missing? What's missing from all this claim, this entire claim? What are we missing? I'll give you guys that whole time frame to answer. What are we missing, if anyone can guess? All right, let's see here. Yep, right here. What are we missing? There's something here that's missing. Yeah, oatmeal. Oatmeal is one of them. All right, if you guys don't know, I'll tell you. A cited link or outside link to the scan to which this is stated and suggested. You got it, and even if you have to make a separate blog, because remember when I talked about Dragon Ball's multiverse, because I said the macrocosm has the infinite universe, infinite Makai, infinite room of spirit of time, which is a separate continuum, the infinite afterlife, which contains an infinite heaven, which exists in the upper heavenly realm, which, how can you have an infinity within an infinity unless you're a larger infinity? So then I bring in the RPG data book to support it being a higher dimension, Daizenshuu 7, Daizenshuu 4, and all those sources I would put there. And I would create a separate blog so anyone who doesn't know how the Dragon Ball cosmology works, create a blog like the Kenzenshu and give people details and context about how the universe of Dragon Ball works. That way, I can prove that destroying Universe 7 is lower multiverse to multiverse level 2B or low 2C. Whatever the case is, there's no evidence. Exactly. Thank you, Turnbull. Thank you, Aiden. You get it, Aiden. You get it. It says here, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm not sure if it's Aiden or Adam, but it says here, as a Hado god, they said he exists completely above and external to all expansion. Shush, birds. Okay, how does this make sense? Where is the link? This doesn't tell me anything. Where does it state this? Why? Tell me why, and then I'll believe it. Tell me why. If you could tell me why, I'll believe it. But I don't have any source or evidence. Now let's go to another character who he fought, if I recall. This is going to be funny. Let's go to Methuselah. Yep, I remember this guy. So let's talk about him. So again, all these like mental, spatial, temporal, conceptual attacks. By the way, guys, don't be afraid of the term conceptual attacks. People love to just throw that around. Conceptual attacks have nothing to really do with being able to beat another character on a higher level, because again, like in Archie Sonic, there are beings. I'd have to pull up the scan, but there are beings in the Archie Sonic verse who can create their own universe and laws. Like they can change the law of gravity, etc., etc. These guys are still only Universe Plus level. Archie Sonic is still above them and could destroy their verse because he transcends their power. Or Enerjack and Mammoth Mongol. So again, just because you have conceptuality and hacks doesn't mean it's at a higher level. Because let's see, someone has death manipulation hacks. Let me ask you, can Death from Castlevania defeat Death of the Endless from DC Universe? Heck no. Death of the Endless is nearly boundless because she exists on every single conceptual plane that could be conceived. They said everything, even when the universe, if all of time and universe and existence end, I will be there to lock away the key. So she's obviously like one of the strongest characters in DC existence, period. Including the Monitor Realm, because the concept of death, she is there, present, always. Anything that is death, dead, existed, erased, don't exist, cease to exist, nothingness, that is her character. So when you have this conceptual hacks, to what degree? That doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what his conceptual hacks is. I mean, the Grand Priest has conceptual hacks. He conceived the term of gravity. He can control death because he can grant people death. He's above Lord Enma. He can conjure souls, etc. Anyway, so this is the author. I think it's Takeda Masada. When he made a post here, and right here, for those who can't read it, I can read it for you. So give me, birds, you are destroying my stream. Shush. All right. So anyway, so I had a conversation with one of my boys about this. There was a lot of information, and the point is, I am going to eat those birds. So anyway, the point is, there's nothing that's telling me anything. So even on the Reinheart thread, there was this basically, for those who don't know, this is basically him saying there is an infinite set. He does agree that there is an infinite number of parallel worlds evidentially. There is scans that also support further of this, but every point on the versus battle, let's talk about this. This right here doesn't even give me information on everything I need to know, because when they say like universes, destroying universes, it doesn't help with anything. Now I know respect threads are important because the versus battle wiki uses it themselves, but they don't really conceive anything. And again, survives the multiversal Grand Cross. So let's look at this. The stars of foreknown world eined into a grand cross that extended along the entire multiverse. Let me lower my volume so you guys your ears don't die because of the birds. A tsunami of gravitational pull that caused the blood of everyone in its vicinity to reach a boiling point in the blink of an eye. Okay. A mortal man, no, even a demigod would have exploded from the inside right then and there, to say nothing of the insistent artillery fire from the Glacium Panzer Grenadiers. That doesn't tell me anything. This doesn't tell me a single thing. All it does, you know what this tells me? This just tells me something blew up and we don't know what it is. So I do know it says into a grand cross that extended along the entire multiverse. Cool. That's good information. But from what we know, we only know the multiverse as being infinite, as in like the parallel universes. But we don't know if it extends beyond a level of infinity that transcends that infinity. We just know there's something that extends across all of it. Like all Hado gods, Ren can become a walking multiverse. So let's look at this again. But he too was now a universe of his own. Sorry about that. But he too now was a universe of his own. All the destructive love that his friends and father, his kindred's powers unleashed upon his being, Is there a multiverse? It says universe. And again, if you need to prove that the term universe here is in reference to a multiverse within the continuity of. Let me just look at a couple things. Let me scroll back up. So long story short, I'm not on the bandwagon of hating nor disagreeing. So Sonic versus Goku is the most toxic debate. That can be true, because people just downplay both. I haven't seen many Goku versus Archie Sonic debates as I have with Superman. Okay. Right, you need to link where you got your proof from. Exactly. Yeah, like Moro, so many magic hacks, but he can't beat the living Tribunal for yeah, exactly. Like, do you think Moro can just say, "Oh, I'm gonna eat how do we know it can go? How do we know 7-3 can take powers from beings of that magnitude? Sure, he took an angel's power, but he couldn't even handle it. So if he took the Tribunal's power, what source can he become that can allow him to express that power? He's never done that before. We sped up time to make Bulla be born, didn't he? Yeah, he did. And he turned birds into chicken nuggets. But for real though, guys, thank you. My bad for the loud noises. I know that's like very, ear-inducing. Shush. Stop swearing. You're gonna get me demonetized. They're over here cussing people out in bird. Nah, they're flipping the bird, man. But anyway, there's so many crazy scans that I've seen used in threads that don't tell us anything. There's another one that I have. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I could somehow get it on this computer. Let me see. Let me. Actually, let me see. Yeah, let me say rewrite. Is there a point where they rewrote? Even their entire body is destroyed, they will regenerate as long as their spirit and soul is intact. Okay, yeah, that's true. Shh. I can't stand those birds. Guys, I'm gonna have to call my wife to come get these things. I'd resort to wherever I could at this point be advocated trash. I felt droplets of blood trickle down my forehead after I smashed my head open in that attack, but a wound of this caliber barely even hurt. Okay. Incomplete or not, I still had the Anumurbe slumber within my body, which meant I'd have no trouble with most injuries. What? Hold on. The ability sense souls over a large distance and detect their individual attacks. Have a body that only serves for physical interactions. Even if their entire body is destroyed, they will regenerate as long as their soul is intact. Where does it say that? He just said he busted his head open. And that he had blood come down his forehead. He busted his head open. And he said, I'd have no trouble with most injuries. So this doesn't... Tell me, chat, please, because I hope I am not on that, that Super Mario mushrooms. I'm not misreading this. Does anyone get the notion that he can Majin Buu or even Piccolo level regenerate from this? Does anyone get that type of healing factor from this? Because I don't know if anyone in the chat is active at the current moment, but anyone, chat, please tell me, is there any point at all where this seems like it would be consistent within the lore, where does this imply their whole body can be destroyed as long as their soul is intact? Exactly. Not one bit. Thank you, Roswell. Thank you. Not one bit. No, there's no indication at all. Nothing tells me that this means he could just recover or regenerate like Boo. So whoever made this, again, that's not evidence. In fact, I'm wondering, did they even use this for... Let me see, regenerate. All right, regeneration. Again, when you say a character can do something, give us a link to an example. That is a better way to do these pages, because if you're not doing that, we can't get that. Now, I do know that the Hado gods do have that level of regeneration, but I'm going to keep it real with you guys. A lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, but Dai's Ire, based on what most have implied through the threads, are at best Multiverse Plus 2A. There's no one is complex multiverse. Maybe there's a being who's low complex multiversal, but that's highball. Nobody else is at that level. There's no evidence at all that supports any of this. Again, multiverse plus, environmental destruction, like all of this into the creation of parallel worlds. So here, this is true. This statement, I have translations for this statement. And I can translate this myself. So this is something we actually got that actually makes sense. Let me see here. If I recall, let me just double read this. Okay. Yep, this is one of them. This is one of the scans. Let's check out the other one. So I'm going to delete some of these. Let's close some of these windows. All right, confirmed to be infinite in both the novel. I don't think this is the novel. I think this is a screenshot from something else. But it may be the novel. But it's okay. It's not that important. Again, I'm not the biggest Daizire fan. I'm just an observer. And as an observer, you're going to get people slaughtered in a debate if you don't give proper information. So let me see this. So let's see. This says here, Ago ni hirugaru tai uriu charaga Goku nogotoku kagiyaku komo yoriyuki nodata inate. So, like right here in this first sentence, like this area, it's saying the large amount of chakra that spreads after the blue becomes the aftermath of the 8 consciousness. And then it goes on, let's see here. Yep. Yup. 8 conscious that shines like the afterglow and tells that this is one who controls the... Right here, you see it here. That's the term right there that we were looking for. So that's one of the terms there. Mugen, which is in reference to infinityism. Let me see here. Because I definitely recognize that that kanji. Because that's not hiragana no katakana. That's a kanji. It's mu and then gen. And that refers to, it says, Kaso ga mugen ni sonzai suru haikyu uchu. And uchu is a reference to universe, and haikyu is like parallel. Haikyu uchu o surakuku surumonada to suge I. And yeah, so this is basically right here, I. And this is basically just saying, all it's saying is just the infinite parallel universe. Again, not low, complex, multiversal. So where is the outer versal even coming from? All of these are backed up. All of these are backed up. Okay? All right, only someone like Deadpool could possibly do that. Yeah, exactly. Like Deadpool, Majin Buu, like Majin Buu, not even like into his soul. You know, doesn't the scan say that this god rules over the... Yeah, it does. Like, it's saying the amount of the chakra that spreads after the blue. So that is in reference to the this character here. I forgot what... We just looked at him, actually. We just saw him on the Versus Battle Forum. Hold on. What's his name again? Because I don't remember his name. I do know Reinhardt. I know Ren. I know the other characters, but I don't remember him. I do remember there being spoken on him. There we go. Hajun. So Hajun is the character in this scan. And again, it comes back down to, you know, what I was saying earlier. That's Hajun. And I don't know why it's being claimed that, you know, he could do all of that. And even itself, hold on. Let me see here. Let me see. I think I had the scan from I think I had the original Japanese scan that translated. There was some things that were kind of weird. But there are a lot of scans that are supporting But the best they give him is high multiverse plus, you know, and maybe low. And if you want to say they can destroy infinite universes, then you're going to go into the, and you want to say they can transcend that, then you are getting into low complex multiverse tiers. But Hajun is stronger than all of them. And let me just bring this scan up again from Masada. So he says here, in terms of numbers, it's really stale, but the world of Mel is 40,000 to 50,000 years in one return. I repeat it at least 100 times. Also, regarding the size of the guy in the seat that is in the image, that means the snake Toguro that covered the whole universe. So, again, he's referring to this guy. Okay? So he says, that covered the whole universe. So when it comes to the hugeness, or he meaning to say when it comes to the size, it is endlessly huge. The general army, including the infinite parallel universe, is, well, Mel. And that's pretty much what he's saying. So again, consistently multiverse plus, period. So that's consistent. And it's from the author. It's Takashi Masada. Takashi Masada himself is supporting this. And I'm not going to argue against the author. And it's like I said, I have no problem with anyone. And keep in mind, this was in 2010. So keep in mind, I don't have anything with any of the author claiming that a Daizire character is what they are. I mean, if it's the author, I'm not arguing with it whatsoever. My problem is that where does the author imply anyone is in the range of outerversal? Like, where is this term that they use on the Hado God term? Like, where is this ever stated? I don't know, folks. But this is just, yeah. Hey, Atari, over here streaming. My first time getting a stream. Awesome. Welcome, Nagafar. Thank you so much for making it to the stream. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I remember us discussing that in Discord with Daizire and the insane highballs. Yes, Razuel. Exactly. We need to know that Daizire has a lot of crazy claims that aren't backed up. Like, remember I showed you this, and I showed SSJ Ryu this, and he was like, how is that multiversal unless there's context that we're missing? Because, again, in Dragon Ball, a single universe in Dragon Ball has multiple dimensions that are all infinite, you know, and it has a higher dimensional afterlife that's astral, because the afterlife is full of nothing but souls, dead souls, that were also what Buhan was going to kill and destroy as a result of him destroying the entire macrocosm. But they say Buhan's only galaxy level. They think this guy is only galaxy level. Now keep in mind, if Buhan could cover the living world and wipe out the universe in this context is Universe 7, aka the Macroverse. So this context makes sense. It says living world. We know there's an afterlife, and we know there's a Kaioshin world, and we know there's a room of spirit and time. This power allowed him to escape from the room of spirit and time. The room of spirit and time is the Jigen no Toki, and it's also considered an alternate universe, according to Dende in the original Japanese manga title card. It's considered an alternate universe, period. So when Vegeta makes this term, if I don't stop him, this universe will be crushed by alternate dimensions. He's talking about all the dimensions that Buhan is shedding the walls of. So let's say if the room of spirit and time is like covered by this circle that's infinite, you know, like it covers an infinite distance. Buhan is tearing apart that infinite wall, and he's colliding that wall of space-time continuality, and he's shattering the walls of space-time and combining alternate universes with conflicting time dilations, because the room of spirit and time is 6 times slower than the real world, you know. Yet Buhan's like, nah, I'm gonna conjoin all of these together. No, I think 1 minute is an hour or 6 hours. No, it's like 600 times slower than the real world in terms of time dilation. So combining these two interpoles of temporal dimensions is going to cause spatial distortions and would just crush the entire universe itself. It would implode on itself, and then it even says the term wipe out. So that means that means his range would have covered infinite distance, because the general universe is infinite, as I've showed you guys before. And then this would have mean After covering that infinite distance, he would have destroyed the rest of the afterlife, all the souls, which are astral, and all pocket dimensions in the barrier, because in hell has different dimensions, and in hell they have like a pocket and barrier. Hell is also infinite as well as the heaven, because the universe is infinite, and heaven's the same size as that. And we're talking about the normal universe, not even the whole living world, which is like 3 infinities inside of one. So all of this is supported with evidence. I mean, there's even the dead zone, Garlic Jr. There's the dead zone. Let's see here. Let me type Daizenshu. Let's see here. Dead zone. A hyperspace created through the heightened key which sucks up everything. It is a space which freezes even one's body and soul, and which lets not even a streak of light escape. In the movies, Garlic Jr. generated one after being cornered by Goku and Piccolo, but through Gohan powered up himself, he was sealed inside it. Daizenshu 6, page 44. On the TV of Garlic Jr., this is canon to GT, because GT is canon to filler. They plan to suck up the heavenly realm. So in the TV show, he was going to suck up the heavenly realm, but Gohan destroyed the planet Makio, and, etc., and Garlic Jr. was sealed inside itself. This is a hyperspace. It's a higher spatial dimension, and it's able to absorb heavenly realm, which is the afterlife. And the afterlife is called heavenly realm in Daizenshu 7. I have a scan to prove that it is. In fact, hold on. DBZ heavenly realm. Now, some people think it's Kami's lookout, but it's not. The afterlife has always been the heavenly realm. Okay? This is actually in the Japanese Daizenshu 7 page as well. But yeah. But anyway, let's go back to what I was talking about. Let me check the chat real quick. Let me see here. Be careful with the author's intent. That'll lead to death of the author. That is true. How is Buhan galaxy level? Wait, hold on. Is solar system stronger than galaxy? Sorry if that's a dumb question. Nah, it's not a dumb question. It's just they don't understand. Sorry. What tier do you have current Dragon Ball Goku? Current Dragon Ball Goku, I'll answer that in just a bit. I think he said something like out of Versa for Master Ultra thing. I don't know. That's for Dragon Ball Heroes. It's all good. Galaxy is way above solar system. Okay, thanks for clarifying, Roz. Okay. I'm skeptical about Buhan being universal, mainly because if it didn't happen in the manga original source, therefore it isn't canon. Yeah, so the thing about that, Mr. Hazama, is you got to be careful. So I'm going to teach you something about Dragon Ball Z, Mr. Hazama. This is something that pretty much Laughingstock Media, Black and Fist, Quadman, Seth the Programmer, SSJ Ryu, myself, Geekdom, I think Rhyme Style, and did I say Laughingstock Media already? Dragon Ball Nation, pretty much every OG person who knows about Dragon Ball and the lore, Herms included, they all know one thing. Dragon Ball is not about what's canon. The manga Goku is a separate version, okay? Manga is a separate version, and as time went on, Toriyama considers anything from the anime that wasn't included in the manga to be canon. Toriyama anime is the manga. This was in an interview he made that was in French. Dragon Ball, it's the anime and manga. Because Toriyama confirms this. There's also a site, I think, on Toei's official website where they consider Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Z Kai, or let me just ask them, Dragon Ball Z Kai. But anyway, Dragon Ball Z Kai is pretty much considered to be the Toriyama cut. So it's including manga-based things that Toriyama will want, not filler, because they were catching up with the anime too much. Dragon Ball Kai was just a remake to capture everything that Toriyama intended to be in the manga but didn't put in there. Okay? So that's why when it comes to Buhan's feat, you can apply it to manga Goku unless it's stated specific manga only. If it's not stated to be manga only, then it doesn't really quantify, and then you can have a separate scaling. But remember, there's been a lot of things that's been retconned, rewritten, things that have been implicated. Remember, in the manga, Goku asked Earth to give his spirit bomb, but even in the manga, he got his spirit bomb from the afterlife. So remember, in Dragon Ball, the afterlife has a star and a planet, and Goku got all his energy from this into the Kaioshin realm. So That's why they said his spirit bomb held the force of the universe. And Buhan held it back. Goku needed power, and Goku got all his stamina and energy, restored. And then he was able to push the spirit bomb back with higher levels of power. And then that overwhelmed Kid Buu. But as a result, I do want you to know that it's without a shadow of a doubt that the manga and anime are both kind of canon to each other. Let's see here. Kyle's Planet, Snake Way, Daikaio, Himmel, City of Hades. Yeah, there's all that. This is just like people labeling what isn't labeled on the actual paper, but this is from the officials. But again, you need to know that, there's a lot of information in Dragon Ball that has been outdated in a bad way because people haven't been keeping up with the series or actually following it. Like they still think Cell is only solar system level when Vegeta actually blew up a solar system in the anime. If you watch his Final Flash clip, he blew up a solar system. Or at least a large star. And you could base this judged on the constellation and positioning and what we call luminosity. Luminosity. So luminosity, oops, not that. Math. Yeah, I think it's that, yeah. So there's a way to calculate the distance of something using the magnitude of brightness that is given. And for something like Vegeta's Final Flash feat, there may be a calc that allows you to understand how bright the Final Flash really was. And Roswell, tell them. I shared with Roswell a scan. Vegeta's Final Flash in Dragon Ball Kai was actually looked like a blue star, and it was a lot brighter than in the original. So it was actually bigger, far bigger. And you can actually use that, the brightness of that, to scale how far away it was and how big that blast of energy was in order for it to be that bright from that perspective in comparison to the other stars in the background. And it was at least multi-solar system in some cases on a highball, which is consistent anyway because, they jumped to like multi-galaxy level in the Buu saga. So, but anyway, let me see here. I've been a fan of DB for years, and hearing all this sounds very complex. It does, but I'll put it this way. Let me see here. Dragon Ball Z Kai Toriyama cut. Let's bring that up. So this is on AnimeNewsNetwork.com. Sorry, I have to be careful because some of these ads are a little strange. So just be careful. Anyway, so I'm going to just read this here. The Dragon Ball Z anime series originally ran from April 1989 to January 1996 in Japan. However, since Toriyama was still serializing his manga at the same time in the shorter and weekly installments, the Dragon Ball Z anime expanded its story by inserting additional content. So remember when Gohan chops wood? Remember this scene where Gohan was cutting the logs and then he met this girl, he met Lime or Lime or whatever you want to say it. And then he met General Tao. And then you got other feats that are, you got all this extra stuff. All of that happened in what we call the original OG Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z Kai was a retelling of Toriyama's story, and he's removing the additional content and only including the content Toriyama wants. That's why it says the new Dragon Ball Z Kai, or the new Dragon Ball Kai remastering, will be a Akira Toriyama original cut edition that will quicken the story's presentation and adhere more with the manga story. The anime footage will be enhanced with latest digital technology, etc. So, Dragon Ball Z Kai is 100% canon, as it's canon to Dragon Ball Super, which the anime was canon. But remember, anime and manga are kind of separate in terms of how they compare to each other. So you got the anime canon and the manga canon. So whatever feats occurred in the anime may have not occurred in the manga, vice versa. But they can still be applicable if you're doing like some type of anime manga composite. It depends on what you're doing. Wasn't the Final Flash supposed to be blue too, and Kamehameha yellow? If I recall, Cell himself implied the solar Kamehameha would do more than destroy the solar system, possibly more. It could have. He said, forget. Cell originally said in his little plankton voice, forget the solar system. Or he said, forget the planet. I have enough chi to destroy the entire solar system. And that's just Toriyama trying to raise the stakes. Keep in mind, Cell's power was felt all the way through Namek. Felt to Namek. I don't know if this is going to catch it, but there was a scene. I'd have to get in the original Dragon Ball. They removed this out of Kai though. It's not in Kai, but in the OG Dragon Ball, Cell powered up and his energy sent the shockwave throughout the entire macroverse, and people of Namek was able to feel a shockwave come to them. So there's that. When Cell, perfect Cell, yeah. This is when he first went perfect Cell, and then there's like, that's when he appeared, and then I think his energy was felt. Let me see. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna just watch it real quick. So I don't want copyright strike or anything. I don't want the stream to be stopped. I'm just gonna look here. So yeah, you can see here through the images. So you see this light. So what happened here was this light. It was he powered up. So you see the thunder. So this is when he was powering up in the OG. As you guys can see, yes, Sephiroth is pretty hyped. But anyway, as you can see, the shock waves coming over the planet. So that's just like an electric storm. This is Namek. This is New Namek, which is in a completely separate galaxy quadrant. So it's like across the universe. And keep in mind, the universe is infinite. So good luck with measuring that distance. This is when he was transforming, right? And so the people on New Namek felt that power. And this is when he transformed. So that's pretty much that scene. So again, it's kind of like, the OG was a lot crazier. So the manga is an alternate universe of the anime. Not really. The manga's just like the original writing of Toriyama, but there's a lot of stuff Toriyama couldn't put in there that he wanted to. Toriyama expressed how, I think her name was Nozawa. He would picture Nozawa doing voices in his head while drawing the manga so he could better fit the scene. So he loves the anime, and he considers the anime canon. In fact, Toriyama considers GT a separate canon. He considers it an alternate version of the original Dragon Ball. He actually does in his interview. So that's important. That's important to know. So if Toriyama considered that to be an alternate variant, then that means Toriyama respects GT for what it was. That's why we say GT Goku versus this GT Goku versus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it but anyway. So that's that. I'm gonna stop with the Dai's Ire stuff because I've made my point. Dai's Ire has been kind of highballed too much. Even characters like Rimuru Tempest. Rimuru Tempest is very strong, but to assert that Rimuru Tempest can beat the entirety of Dragon Ball casually is very strange. And we're gonna talk about this too a little bit more. So let me just. Yeah. So just like how he said each movie is alternate. Yeah, each movie is an alternate universe as well. So you have the GT, the movies, the original OG anime, you have the Dragon Ball Kai consistency, and the manga is technically along with Kai and Super. They're kind of like all one homage podge, kinda. And the Broly movie, Battle of Gods, and Resurrection of F are all canon to that, and only necessary parts were retcon. All right, so let me read some more. I'll keep what you suggested in mind, explore more in this. I didn't realize how complex it was, but I appreciate the input. Well, thank you again, Mr. Hazama, for staying open-minded and allowing yourself to explore more of the series and lore. And I think as long as people think like you and how many of the others in the chat or in this community that we're building does, it will allow more... It makes versus battles more enjoyable. Versus battles are debates, but there should be debates for synthesis. Like, I should be debating you. How can, like, when somebody told me Rimuru, the Solo's Dragon Ball, I'd ask them, how? Give me more intel on Rimuru. Like, they told me Rimuru has this, and I'm like, how far are you on Rimuru? I was like, that doesn't matter. Just, tell me how Rimuru can survive Hakai. has he dealt with anything that's Hakai related? He dealt with one attack that's existence erasure, erases the mind, body, and soul. Okay, but Hakai erases mind, body, soul, parallel version, a causality. So how do we compare them? I mean, Zeno destroys you on a temporal level. He destroys your age, you, yourself, existence, much more. But let me see here. Let's see here. Yeah, like Goku knowing Hakai in the manga, Buddy Biggs. I'm sorry if I didn't read that at first, but yeah, good point. So let's see. Nagfar, can Cell use any of Yamcha's attack? Can he do Wolf Fang? Yes, he can. And if you considered scaling Uraiden Samurai Troopers in the future at some point. Uraiden, if I can watch the series and get more intel, I would actually possibly scale it. The thing about me, when I do scaling, I consider every variable. And the reason I do that is because people like to keep things simple. They think Dragon Ball's universe is just one universe and Zamasu transcending that makes him only 4D. That's not true. I've expressed to you guys already. Zamasu didn't transcend just the universe. He had to transcend. First, he had to transcend. Let me go over it. DBZ Infinite Universe Daisenshu 4. I think it's Daisenshu 4. I don't know if they'll have the scan here. There is a scan in Daisenshu 4, which does say the universe is infinite. We'll get into that in a bit. But first, let's talk about this. So what has to happen is, this is the living world. This is where the demon world is, the Makai, right here where my mouse is. Let me get this. Where my mouse is, this is the universe. And the room of spirit and time is in a parallel, different alternate dimension. But it's also infinite. The reason we know it's infinite is because Trunks implied that his dad will go into an endless world. Goku implies that as a Super Saiyan Blue, him and Vegeta could go on a rampage. And they're going to fight. And while training, they fought all out like they did on Earth. They were going to destroy the Earth. Yet they fought all out in their blue forms. Super Saiyan God Goku already sent shockwaves throughout this macrocosm. So it's already clear that where they're fighting is going to be able to contain that infinityism without them going too crazy. Implying they didn't need to worry too much about ki control. They probably flew out to a distance far enough to also not heavily impact the entry. You know, whatever it may have been. But anyway, to show you this is the macroverse. And the thing about the macrocosm is, let me see if this is this interesting? Yeah, so this is a good way to look at it. This is the living world, infinite. Room of spirit and time, infinite. Demon world, infinite. Hell, infinite. Otherworld in heaven, infinite, and then all of it's contained here. And you see the space between here and the Kaioshin realm, that's the space between universes. Kaioshin realm's also separate. This is important to know as Zamasu transcended this infinity. He transcended this level of infinity, the afterlife's infinity, which is a higher dimension because it contains infinities inside its infinity. And he also transcended, as I had the scan earlier, right here, he transcended all these universes because he was becoming them. But how do we know we transcend it? You see the space behind the universes for, like, if I type in universe 7, I want you to look at the oh my, no, I don't want to purchase that. Let's see here. Let me just do this. So there was like a scan, I gotta find it, but it was a scan of Universe 7 standing by itself. Universe 7 anime. But there was a scan of Universe 7 by itself, and what happened was, while that universe was there, it shows, so yeah, this, ignore Piccolo, somebody just took this. This background is actually in the anime. I gotta find the raw image, but this background was there. And there's like these stars and these constellations that exist outside the entire universe. And its appearance is infinite because we have the Zeno realm. This Wherever this zone is, this is called the neutral zone. That's what Champa called it. Champa called it the neutral zone. So let's see, Dragon Ball Super neutral zone or dimension. Yeah, I know Champa said something about it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it here because it's very difficult to find things on Google because I can't go into my files where I have all of them. But Champa does say in chapter 10, it's chapter 6, page 10. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super, chapter 10, page 6. Yeah, it was in one of these. No, chapter 6, page 10, sorry. It was in one of these. Champa talks about their fight being taking place in a neutral zone. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if their fight took place in a neutral zone, this tells us that Champa is a character who knows about, the space between universes to a degree. The space between universes has to exist on a higher dimension. I'll explain why I believe that. First and foremost, remember, guys, you cannot leave Universe 7, or you cannot get to the afterlife unless you have teleportation. You can't. You need interdimensional teleportation. Goku has interdimensional teleportation. The only drawback is he has to be able to feel that interdimensional energy. Goku doesn't have the same range as a Kaioshin. Kaioshins observe entire macroverses, and they can observe pretty much the entirety of other spatial dimensions that are outside. That's why Elder Kai was able to tell. Elder Kai knew the world of Void was shaking, despite it being infinite, because he has infinite range of his senses, or his sensory input is infinite. Elder Kaioshin also knew that Gotenks was in the room of spirit and time. Even Goku in the manga says, how'd you know all that? Because he's like, how did you know they were in a separate alternate dimension, a time dimension? It's because he's a Kaioshin. Kaioshins are able to tell that. So I just wanted to bring this up to you guys to give more evidence, to give it a bit more of a meritable argument as to why, Zamasu transcending the multiverse was more like a 7th dimensional or 6th dimensional level feat at best. I'm going to read back to the chat. Sorry, guys. I have to keep opening back and forth the window. And it's kind of funny looking at Moro's face right there while Beerus grabs it. Let me see here. All right. Plus, thank you for giving GT some love by saying it's a separate canon, because I get tired of hearing it's not canon. Okay, yeah, Hazama, that is true. GT is a separate canon. It's not all completely uncanon. I can prove that. Vegeta needs Ultra Instinct to rival Goku in the manga. He probably would. My friend and I were talking about the difference between Piccolo blasting the room of spirit and time and sealing it versus Vegeta breaking out. Yep. I tried to avoid saying that Vegeta just broke through by being stronger. It's hard to really say. I would assert that Vegeta is capable of destroying it, or he just destroyed into a certain section that just kind of imploded him out of the dimension. Or there could, because with characters like Mirrors, there's separate rooms of spirit and time. So Goku in the room of spirit and time on Earth, one day is a year. But the room of spirit and time Goku and Mirrors trained on, one day is 3 days there. So it's a separate room of spirit and time. Yet it still exists. And it looked like they went to the neutral dimension. So I'm going to bring that up. I don't know if you guys remember it. Let me see if I can pull that up. You guys are going to see my Viz account. Don't steal my password. I'm just kidding. Let me go to my library. All my Yu Yu Hakusho stuff. Yep, I have the whole collection. I'm a big fan. Let's go to Dragon Ball Super. Let's open up. I think Mirrors trains with them in chapter 48. No, it's not this chapter. Maybe 50. No, this is when they go to the room of spring time. Let's go to 51. All right, let's see here. Nope. This is separate. Let's go to 53. All right. All right, so let's see here. We got to check out a couple things, because I'm looking I don't remember the exact page. I should have remembered it. So Goku, yep. So let's go to previous chapter. All right. So let's talk about. So we know the original Room of Spirit and Time. We know how long it is. If you guys know the OG, this goes to show there's different rooms of spirit and times. There's different rooms of spirit and times, and we could prove that. Let's see here. Goku and Mirror's fight. So as the forces of darkness encroach upon the earth, Goku and Mirror begin training. You see the pyramids? We only remember these pyramids from when Champa set up his arena. Let me see here. Dragon Ball Super, Universe 6 versus 7 arena. So in the anime it was different, but in the manga it had like pyramids. Let me see here. It's kind of hard to bring it up. Let me check the chat. All right, let's see here. If Reinhardt versus is greater than Xenogoku, maybe, but again, nobody has. The thing about that Malaki is that nobody hasn't. If you paid attention to my last video, the thumbnail actually has Reinhardt ahead of Xenogoku, not behind him. I was doing a hierarchy thing. So I actually had Reinhardt in front of Xenogoku. But again, I'm doing research on Daizire to get more consistent information because I want things to be more accurate. It's kind of like the same thing with Yumi Neko. Yumi Neko is an overglorified chess game that people are extremely highballing. Feathering, I could tell you Feathering is not tier 0. You know, Feathering could become tier 0 in a potential argument. But Feathering is not tier 0 herself. Otherwise, she wouldn't become herself when she becomes that tier 0. Because she hasn't merged with the creator, and she refuses to. So that doesn't make any sense for them to put her tier 0. And also, Yumi Neko is kind of inconsistent with the hierarchy. Abraxas, who is Abraxas from Google+. I don't know if you remember Abraxas back in 2014 when we used to be on Google+ with the debating community. Abraxas kind of made that himself. But he really wasn't including Feather and Augustus Aurora's feats from the Pachinko games. He kind of only included some of the things on the PlayStation and some of the points of the other parts of the novel. But we wasn't really getting any anime consistencies as well. The manga consistency. So everything was kind of out of whack. So there was a lot of missing information with Yumi Neko and kind of and that's why I was like, why is Yumi Neko being ranked this high? Why? Just answer the question, why? When somebody asks me why Dragon Ball is this high, I tell them why. I give them a scan. I give them a basis. That's what we're doing right now, actually. But for like series like Daizire, the best I can get is I can get Takashi Masada is when he says the universe is infinite. And other than like Hajun, I don't see any of the other Hado gods surpassing that unless there's a claim or a link or a statement that supports that claim. Until I can get a statement that claims that there is an infinite hierarchy beyond an infinite hierarchy that Hado gods have infinitely transcended, I can't believe it. But until we have evidence. So until then, there still needs to be information collected on Reinhardt, Ren Fuji, and many other characters of the Daizire series. So I don't know. But anyway, let's see here. Kibito says something directly about it, doesn't he? Something that how Goku's instantaneous moves isn't as limited as Goku's. His isn't as limited as Goku because he could sense where everything is. Again, Kaioshin have better sensory input. So they can sense where something is at a location at a higher degree. And it seems the Kai is like a variant of it that may allow them to do that. Speaking of Yu Yu Hakusho, I still have to defend Suzaku's Storm of Torment when trying to nail down a steady speed for the group to scale it. Suzaku's weird because what he really did was he actually caught lightning before the return stroke went back into the sky. He kind of caught the ions itself and collected it into his hand and then conjured it and then redirected it back at Yusuke. So, and it's kind of consistent anyway because Yusuke already has a light speed feat with Hiei because of the way the ray gun works. But before I get into that, I don't know. I can't find it. Let me see here. Dragon Ball Super. I can't even. Hold on. Let me make sure Let me put my safe search on because I'm gonna have to type in the name Vados. Yeah, have to have safe search on. Because in the manga, she creates the arena for Champa. And when she creates the arena, I know she puts pyramids. Anyway, I won't find it right now, but I'll tell you guys that these pyramids are definitely around the area where Champa was at and such. Or should imply it is. So they should be in the neutral zone, potentially. Let's see here. Yep, they're fighting. Goku's like, ow, darn, it's not working. I gotta empty my heart and mind. And then they're fighting. And then, let's see here. Because it's definitely not the Kaioshin realm. And he said, I apologize for keeping this to you. Totally fine. Say no more. Yep. And you say... And then after that, he says, follow me. And then they say, oh, I know about all this place. The Chamber of Spirit and Time. So you're familiar with it, right? Every day that passes in the outside world gives us 3 days here. All right? So they're saying 3 days. And keep in mind, this isn't Kami's Lookout, so this is a different entrance. So as we should know... And he said this, 3 days, I guess any extra time is better than none, since we're on short. And Goku's wondering about this because he's like, 3 days? That doesn't even sound right. But anyway, while the time dilation is helpful, the fact that this space is sealed off from the worlds is just as important. So this space is sealed off from the other rest of the worlds because I'm able to use my full strength. Now, obviously, angels could feel that, but this shows that this world, the Room of Spirit and Time, is so much more durable than people have given it credit for. As he stated. Obviously, he doesn't really go full power. He doesn't need to. He kind of bodies Goku most of the time. But anyway, back to the main point. Yeah. I'm going to be cooking soon, guys. But I did want to give you guys some better information. But as far as channel updates go, it may be a week or two, maybe 3, before I get everything established to where I can start making consistent videos again. Because I got a lot of things I got to keep up with. I had to spontaneously move. Roswell understands, but I've asked Roswell not to say it, so that's fine. But it has to do with family issue and other things, but I prefer not to bring it up. But I will say that it is very, very, very important. But that's for channel updates. As far as like other things, yeah. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm just going to go over a couple more things. I'm going to just read responding to Versus Battle Wiki comments. And I'm going to show you guys how I like to look at comments and such. And we're going to go from there. It says, oh yeah, the ray gun. I make a point to try and not include that because I get people screaming at me it's not light speed. I mean, Buddy Biggs. The ray gun is stated to be able to reflect off a mirror like light. Every character that has encountered the ray gun barely could dodge it. Okay? Toguro couldn't really dodge the ray gun per se. He reacted to it by crushing it. Suzaku barely could react to it. And he only knew because Yusuke was pointing his finger at him and the hand was glowing. So he kind of predicted when the ray gun blast would come out. Same thing with Jin. Jin, he kind of dodged it because he was in the air and it's not that big. But when he shot it at Sensui was like, I can't react. And while Sensui was still staring at Yusuke, the ray gun blows up a mountain and he barely could even react. Sensui is a character hundreds of thousands of times stronger and faster than anyone else below him. And we know he's faster because Yusuke couldn't even attack him. And he blitzed Hiei and every other character. He parried all of Hiei's attacks despite Hiei stacking on the Dragon of the Darkness Flame on his A-class form. But, let's see here. Yu Yu Hakusho is not above 3 dimensions. Well, there's characters like Kuwabara who has attacks that transcend dimensions. So you can argue Kuwabara has 4D attack potency. But he has a range limitation, So there's that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that. You're trying to use the transitive property way. You're just like, if Suzaku was lightning speed and Yusuke is 10 times this, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if you know this, Buddy Biggs, but one of the data books expressed that there's a character who uses photons in Yu Yu Hakusho. He uses photons of light when he fought Yusuke. So if you want to use that, you can. He was in the Genkai tournament. Yu Yuyu Hakusho Rando Tournament. Let me see what his name was. Yeah, you see here. So when Kuwabara first unlocked the Spirit Sword, I forgot what his name was. Yeah. So this guy, not this guy specifically, but there was another guy that Yusuke fought related to them. Oh, yeah, it is him. So this is the Sword of Light. Ignore the meme. I can't even find a proper scan. Oh well, we're gonna include this. Let's see, what was his name? What was his name again? I forgot this guy's name. Let's see here. But this guy, in the data book, he stated to use photons. So you can use that if you want to back up the argument. It's getting to its own live action series. Okay. You ever thought about scaling God of War? So Jev Gaines, I have not fully scaled God of War, but the guy you see in the chat, Andre Strozio, is helping me with that. I could say that God of War scales higher than people think because I understand dimensional tiering a little bit more consistently. So through dimensional tiering, I'm going to utilize that to the best of my ability to support that aspect. Let me see if I can pull up a couple things. Oh, and Andre, since you're in the chat, you already remember that series Dies the Other Day with like Reinhardt, and how I was telling you like nobody's even that strong in the series, and people keep thinking they are. And people keep, and I keep looking at the scans. Yeah, hold on. But let me see here. I'm going to pull it up right on the screen, guys, so no worries. All right, so I have the scan for the Infinite Universe in Dragon Ball. And then I have the other scan for a couple other things. Yes. That's his name. So Yu Hakusho Musashi. Data book. So let's see. Photon. So he fires photons from his sword. I just wanted to provide evidence for that, though. Ray. Let me see. Ray. Yeah, Yu Hakusho data book. Musashi. Yeah, so Musashi does use those. I just gotta find the scan again. Let me see if I can pull it up. Musashi fires photons with his Reiki. Yes, it heavily supports solid and faster than light Spirit Detective Saga. And yes, I know, that's exactly what we should be having. Yeah, because he calls it the photon sword. He says, it is a technique that seems to be a mystery of the school that is carried on his own. Countless photons are pouring down on the opponent. So let me just at least give you that scan so you could screenshot this stream, and then you'll be able to have that in your arsenal. Let me see here. Let me go to Imgar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Imgar, and then I'm going to Imgar.com, and then I'm gonna upload that right there. So yeah, so let's go ahead and upload something right now. Man, how am I going to get this out there, this information? have to install it. But anyway, let me go back to the chat and read a couple things that was stated. I saw that. Hopefully it's like Rurouni Kenshin and not Death Note. Musashi was the guy's name. Yep, good job. You remember that. So sorry if I didn't see. Wait, what is getting a live action? I hope not Yu Yu Hakusho. It's a series, not like a movie. Like I said, hopefully it's more like a Rurouni Kenshin trilogy and Death Note. Oh boy, oof. Yeah. But all right, yeah, Buddy Biggs. I'm glad that you were able to see that part. Sorry about that. It's just taking me a little bit of time. Yeah, actually, I got an idea. Let me do this. Yeah, let me do this right here. Boom. So I'm going to now pull up the scan myself. Yeah. Discord. I'm good on my Discord right now. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of problems with Daizire, by the way. I'm not even discussing all the issues with Daizire. But let me pull this out right now. Let me get the scan. Yeah, let me save that. Save that. Okay, there we go. I was about to say, go Discord and pull it up. Kratosat? I have Kratos at 6-dimensional, potentially. And the reason I have him at 6-dimensional has to do with the infinite realms, the tree of Yggdrasil, transcending it. And I think it was the world serpent was going to flood the outside realm of existence. So, like, each world is infinite, right? And that means each infinity has their own timeline and such. So that's like 4D. Each branch transcends that infinitely, right? So that's obviously like 5D. And then the outside world being infinitely larger than those branches would be 6D. And the world serpent could even, apparently was going to flood that. So I'm going to... I don't know if Andre Strozier is in the chat, but he might be able to give a little bit more clarification. But that is part of why I would probably have him in the upper tiers. So this is one of them. So this is Musashi. This is on an Instagram. I do have the original scans of it. Yu Yu Hakusho Forever does have scans on this, but this right here is the true sword style photon sword, and it says. And this is translated off of this right here. Right here, you see this? And I can provide us translation for that. It seems that it is a technique that seems to be a mystery of the school that he carries on his own. Countless photons are pouring down. Now, obviously, it's not infinite photons. It's just saying countless, as in like an exaggerated term, are pouring down on the opponent. So again, we already have examples of characters who have light speed attacks. And we already know this attack would not even touch Sensui. It wouldn't even touch Toguro. So that kind of already gives a supporting argument for light speed characters in the early Detective Saga. Yeah, that statement. Yeah, so there are a couple things that need to be addressed. Lord of Nightmare. Are you talking about Lord of Nightmares from the Slayers? I don't really know much about the Lord of Nightmares yet, manga-wise, but I will do some studying and research on it. I just wanted to say that all I'm saying is that I don't think Dragon Ball's the strongest, and I never will say they are, per se. I just think that they're a lot stronger than people think they are, and they need respect for what they have. Ramiru is a beast, but I think that the versus Battle Wiki is too much. So, guys, we're gonna take a couple looks at Goku's profile. Before we do, we're gonna take a look at some of the versus battle threads. I have a couple responses. Let me see here. Yeah, this guy is
This guy is very annoying. Manuzari. And I'm expecting him. So, Chaos Jester says hacks are not no limits fallacies. Mario will always be there to save Peach, meaning he can't die because he won't be able to save Peach. So then that is what is that? Yo, Roswell, isn't this like a fault? Isn't this like a correlation doesn't equal causation? Like just because Mario or isn't this like a type of no limits fallacy where like, oh, he can't die because he have to save Peach. Like by that logic, it's like, well, Goku can't die because he has to always win. So that's terrible. So he just admitted that right there. Tell me, when has Goku bypassed fate manipulation? You cannot bypass a hack via being stronger than your opponent. Goku can't stop Ness's fate manipulation. Okay. So if I were to respond to him right now, like again, this just has to do with this. All right, so I'll tell him you just admitted to a no limits fallacy by asserting Mario cannot die. Terrible. You could literally die in the games. Even Link has prophetic fate manipulation, yet he's died in another timeline. So that doesn't make sense. Again, show me the capacity of Ness's fate manipulation, or these are just ad hoc no limits fallacies. And that's all they are. You're just kind of making up excuses on the spot. Now let's talk to this guy Manozari. Birds, quiet. Okay. All right, so let me see here. First, let yeah, no problem. 60 or 70 due to the world tree. Each branch transcends time, and the fact that Kratos scales to the myth, he might scale past Buddha. Yeah, Goku versus Seiya. Goku versus Seiya is a little... If you want to know about Goku versus Seiya, I'd actually recommend going to SSJ Ryu 1's video. They do a great job. There's a Saint Seiya fan who even admits that Goku doesn't stand... that Seiya doesn't stand a chance against Goku. Even with the 7th and 9th sense, he can't beat him. But I do believe Seiya does scale to... There is a possibility to scale Seiya beyond low multiversal. I think Seiya can go to infinite multiverse level, depending on if you use the claims that there are infinite possibilities in the series. Thank you. Yeah, exactly, Roswell. It's a blatant no limits fallacy. Seiya, aren't the Saints like leagues faster? It's hard to say because Nagfar. You have to understand, Goku already surpassed Hit's time skip. I wonder why your message is being retracted. Let me see here. I have to see why they're being retracted. Yeah. So, like, the thing is... Yeah, I know, all these years, and then they finally bring it up. They're so loud.
The birds?
Yeah, their birds are really loud.
Birds, keep it down.
Maybe they just want it light.
Even with light, they do that.
Okay, well, tell Pikachu and Sonic to quiet down, please.
I'll send them over there next to my other room.
Okay, no problem. Andre, isn't that 5D? Do you have a scan of the Jormang flooding the outside world? Would be cool to see. There is Andre is the scan master, guys. I'll tell you that. But before we go into further details, let me just express this. Nagfar, Goku surpassed Hit's time skip. In the anime, it's not hacks. He literally says, I'm far ahead of your time skip. And he's moving while in skipped time. That means Goku is transcending the Planck length. And this is supported because there's a scan where when Hit literally tells the Mafia boss, time has stopped for everyone except you and I. So literally everyone is frozen. That means not even a single Planck of time is moving for them. Yet Goku could surpass this, and Goku beat Hit with just raw power. First, Goku beat him with raw speed, then he beats him in round 2 with raw power. And then Jiren just kind of claps him. And Vados confirms they transcend time. So in short burst, Goku has immeasurable speed in short burst. But of course, again, like I'm just clarifying, it's in short bursts because Goku still has stamina. He could destroy infinite universes and all that, but he still has stamina and a limit to his key output. Of course, Yusuke and Goku are one of the characters who rev up very, very fast. Like I think it took Yusuke has a stupid recovery time. It's like a couple seconds when he fought Sensui, and Sensui admired his healing factor. And then Goku has an extreme sorry about that. That's the background. That's the sink. The Goku has an extreme recovery time because when he fought Boo, he said, "I'll be at full power in just like 60 seconds." And in the Tournament of Power, we kind of see evidence of that. It took him like 2 minutes because I think that episode versus Kale and Caulifla, it took him 2 minutes to literally recover all his stamina. You know how ridiculous that is? Like that's crazy. So anyway, but yeah. Let's continue. He says, I was a Dragon Ball fan. The thing is, I will never understand is 2B and 1C for Goku. That makes no effing sense. Okay, so I'll tell him this. Why does it make no sense? The macroverse is just a universe. There's no proof of a continuum space in the universe itself. So what do you call the afterlife, which contains the infinite which contains the infinite heaven, hell, and Enma realm, while being larger than the living world? And as far as Goku claiming it has no time, and the Daizenshuu 7 claiming it's a separate world, along with the RPG data book released in 1998. So again, he has to prove that those aren't continuums. Well, we already know they're continuums. If anyone who thinks otherwise is just kidding themselves. It's literally a separate timeline. Also, why do they need Shudon Edo trans-dimensional teleportation to get to those specific areas? Unless the distance is in another continuum. All right. The only proof we have are very weak, and that's indicated the time flow different. That doesn't mean they are another continuum. I don't know if you never studied astronomy and physics. That's an appeal to reality because the time chamber is sealed from the outside world, as confirmed by even Miras in chapter. Let me just double check so I cite my source. Let's see. This is chapter 52, page 45. 44. 44, yeah. Page 44. Chapter 52, page 44. Even confirmed by Miras. Yep. That's an appeal to reality because the time chamber is sealed off from the outside world. That's confirmed by even Miras in chapter 52. It's considered an alternate dimension via anime and manga from Dende and Daizenshuu as well. So again, these are just claims. So again, it seems like you are not up to date with DB, and neither is the Wiki, which is why they had a non-moon level Roshi for 6 years. So again, I mean, swearing doesn't drag your point across. Swearing doesn't drag your point across. All you're doing is you just kind of, you know. And then let me read the chat again. Don't forget Hiei recovering after being impaled by Zero. That's true. 6D, because the branches transcend time and space, since the tree itself is infinite in size. That is true, Andre. They're using a Death Note battle logic to justify their claims. They are Roswell, and they are. I'm just going to finish up this comment. Let's see. But if you want, what the hell? General natural science. But if you want to know, in an alternate solar system, time flows differently according to Kepler's second law. The Earth itself is in aphelio, the time flow difference, because the speed of Earth is really slow. Okay. Furthermore, relativity within real science doesn't always apply to each fiction. DB follows religious, mythological, scientifical, and magical base properties. So that doesn't even make sense. We also know the room of spirit and time occupies a different spatial area. Thus, its time flow for, you know, itself, plus it being a separate world, is literally the definition of another universe continuum. So no, it doesn't work. Nice try. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The room of spirit and time is a completely separate world. All right, let me just correct with Grammarly. You'll have to. So I'm telling him again, you have to try again, because your argument is not. Because this argument is more ad hoc and an appeal to reality to strip away the potential interpretive scaling the verse has. Yep, so there we go. And that's pretty much it. So these guys have been slapped. But anyway, do you think every Death Battle video that Death Battle makes are always wrong with their scaling, or who wins the battle? Yeah, like Mr. Hazama said, it depends, Adam. I'm just not understanding how to mix a 60. I can see infinite 5D though. So the thing is, Jev, is that 6D, whenever you transcend 5D and you're going on a different axis, each branch already transcends space-time, right? So each branch is 5D. The branch itself is infinite 5D, right? Because the tree is infinite. So we have infinite 5D. But the world where the tree sits in is smaller. So the realm you see where the tree is contained, that realm itself that contains the tree is also infinite in size and is infinitely larger than the tree. And it has to be. Otherwise, how can you have an infinite object inside a finite realm? So the realm they're in has to also be infinite. And that realm itself acts like a universe. So that's where the 6D comes in, because Kratos, by the statements of the lore and author, is a character who can't really be defeated. And he basically, his energy and his power can pretty much destroy all of that. Keep in mind, the World Serpent was going to flood all of that. So that the World Serpent's like infinite 5D, but Kratos is already far above them, you know? It's a bit, but it'll be expressed in like a visual at some point. But yeah, it's kind of hard to express it through text, because through text you don't really get the visual imagery. It's like the same thing with Dragon Ball. If I tell you how big it is, you need an image to really drive the point. Andre is a moderator, so I think he could probably post the link if he wants. But yeah, like, so as you guys will see on these posts, so there's stuff like this. So there was like, guys, there's literally scans like this. So check this out, check this out, check this out. Law versus Orihime. So people think Orihime beats Trafalgar Law. No consistent arguments whatsoever. Even though she blocked the attack, he still cuts him, and that's like crazy speed. Anyway. Now, nobody's denying Orihime isn't light speed, but like I said, didn't base Luffy dodge a light speed attack and call it slow? Fatigue Zoro already dodged light speed heads on, but Luffy literally like dodges it right there with just a head movement and says, nah, too slow. And then he goes gear second. He was in base. And gear second has already been confirmed to be like a 5 times multiplier, because Rob Lucci, because Luffy's power and speed are relativistic to one another. The stronger he is based on how fast he can extend himself and launch his rubber. So the elasticity and speed is quantifiably accurate. They stack on each other, because speed is also power. And that's also expressed with Kizaru, because he says speed is weight. Now, what makes this interesting is that Luffy goes into gear second, right? And while in gear second, Luffy is able to literally able to blitz PX5. And this is a machine that has light speed detection, is extremely fast, has Kizaru's attacks. And keep in mind, when Luffy dodged this, he was in base. So base form is about like 5 times multiplier, because Blueno was 800 and Blueno was like an 860 or something like that in terms of his Doriki power level. And Rob Lucci was 4,000. And Rob Lucci can actually stack like at least double his Doriki when he uses the Zoan type fruit, devil fruit. So that means he could have been arguably 8,000 Doriki in potential, which could include speed as well, because they get faster. As that little leopard thing, he's also faster. So he's faster and more durable. So that could also scale to Luffy. So you can argue even a 10 times multiplier, 5 to 10 times multiplier for gear second. So if you want to argue Luffy's like 10 times beyond light speed, or since he's at least twice the speed of light for dodging this so casually, because he's way above Zoro in his base form. Remember, a fatigue Zoro dodged a light speed attack point blank, and they already dodged Foxy's photon waves. So even if you say like Zoro's like double light speed, Luffy's at least like 5 times stronger than him, because Luffy's base form here is stronger than his gear second. So Luffy at least got 5 to 10 times stronger during the time skip. So you can argue like he's like 100 times light speed if you want to use transitive property and stack on the multipliers. And that's not even including gear 4, which is literally stated to be several times the elasticity that he normally has, which gives him a speed amp. But anyway, causality, manipulation, say hi. Orihime has massively faster than light speed. No, Orihime doesn't have MFTL. She has FTL, but not MFTL plus, like Ichigo and Yoha. And Orihime blocking is like plot-induced stupidity. That's kind of like Bulma getting in the way of like an attack that's meant for Trunks. It doesn't mean Bulma's automatically that fast, you know? Or like when Bulma can keep up with the fights in Dragon Ball, you know what I mean? Anyway, did you say where you put current Mastered Ultra Instinct? Because I went out of the live stream for a while to watch other videos. No problem, Aden. So I can tell you right now, welcome King Azzy. Yep, Gaines, we're talking about the realms between realms. That's what we're talking about. The space between universes. Because again, I'll paint it this way. If I have an infinite Maybe I can. Hold on. Let me open up an example so I can draw this on screen. Yeah, I think if I draw it on screen, it'll be a little easier. So let me do this. Let's see here. Yeah, let's try this. So you guys see this screen here, right? So I'll paint it like this. I've done this before, but let's say you have this. So this red thing, let's just say it's continuality. It's what separates worlds from colliding. And let's say that this is infinite. This is a this is an infinite. How about I do this? Let me do this. Yeah, let me do that. Yeah. Yeah, let me put that here. 8. I had the stream link copied. Yeah, so let's do something like that. Let me put this back there. Yeah. And then we can just horizontally flip it. Yeah, there we go. Boom, boom, whatever. Get rid of that, yeah. I haven't used paint in a while, so pardon me. Yeah, so infinite, right? So this is an infinite universe. If you have an infinite universe, this white space between it is going to be a higher dimension. Why is it a higher dimension? Because the infinity is contained. That's why Dragon Ball scale is higher than what people think. If I can contain infinity inside of a ball, right? That means whatever is outside of this ball occupying space is infinitely larger. Or not infinitely larger, but is transcendent. So if this is like a 4D space-time, because you got to consider the temporality of dimensions, then the outside of all of this is going to be 5D. Because only a fifth dimensional realm could prevent 4D infinity from spilling out, or 3D infinity, 3D, 4D infinity from spilling out. It's like if I said, imagine if there was a hole inside the space-time continuum and all the stars in this universe kind of just like bleeded out. You know what I mean? So imagine if everything just kind of bled out and it kind of just spread. It doesn't matter because it won't generally happen because the way 5D space works, this is 5D. Everything that's outside of this infinite universe structure on a 5D scale is infinitely larger because it has a different range of motion than this does. That's why it's important. Dimensional tiering is also complex because each series is different. Because Dragon Ball, you got like, other dimensions. Like this, let's say this is the living world here. You got the demon world there. The room of spirit and time is like in a separate area, but it's also infinite like this world, and they kind of cross-section. Then you got the afterlife, which is bigger than both of them, and the afterlife contains the infinite, the heaven, which is the size of the universe, which is infinite, and then you got hell, which is on the bottom, and you got the Enema realm here. And so this afterlife is technically 4D because you can't hold 3D infinities within yourself unless you're a higher infinite yourself. And then you got the Kaioshin realm, which is like all the way out here, which kind of orbits all of this, you know what I'm saying? And then you have this like low-key infinite 4D or lower 5D macrocosm. And then you got all these other macrocosms, and then you got the timeline and all that. So that's kind of like why the same thing for God of War, Mortal Kombat kind of applies. Because Mortal Kombat, you got 7 realms, and you get the picture. But I hope that makes sense. Yeah, thanks for coming by, Adam. I appreciate you stopping by, for sure. I appreciate the support as well. Thank you. I say the same. So Luffy has a Saiyan-like adaptation. I say the same thing about the DB macrocosm. The bubble has to be infinitely bigger for it to fit all these realms. Exactly. Thank you, Andre. Because how am I going to, if I had a bubble that was infinite in size, how can the afterlife again, let me express this just one bit. Let me get this right here. Let me open my Discord. So I'm going to open my Discord. All right, let's let's see here. So I'm gonna get the Discord open right now, and I'm gonna show you guys. Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. Dragon Ball. And it's like, and yeah, it's like that other scan you had, Andre. I'm gonna pull that up too in a separate window. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna talk about one more thing before we end the stream. It has to do with the God level multiplier. I actually think Super Saiyan God could be an infinite multiplier. It's kind of implied it is, but I'm not going to say it is officially. I'm just going to say it's implied. And I have the statement here. Let's see here. Yeah. So, and I'm going to show you the Dragon Ball Kai variant. All right, so let me go ahead and pull these scans up. Because before I start cooking, I'm making mashed potatoes tonight, guys. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, let's try pulling this up here. All right, so there you go. So you guys can see this now. And we're going to be ending the stream soon, but oof. I'd like to hear you break down Fate then. The series is nuts. All right, Buddy Biggs, I don't mind. Again, let me make this clear. I am a big Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, relatively big Naruto, big Zelda fan, and Mortal Kombat. But that does not mean I don't want a series to beat Goku. If somebody can fight Goku and they can beat him, I'll admit it. But when you claim that a character solos the Dragon Ball verse and you don't even know how strong they are, then I have a problem with that. Like when people think Dragon Ball's only Universe Plus, I have a problem with that. Daizenshu implied SSJ3 might be infinite. It does imply it because it says it breaks all limits. It shatters limits. There is no limit with Super Saiyan 3. That's why originally I talked to my friend Craftus about this. You guys don't know Craftus. He's a professional Smash player. He uses Sonic, one of the best Sonics. We were talking, he knows a lot about Archie Sonic too, but we were talking kind of like Super Sonic. Super Sonic in the Archie was stated to be 1,000 times faster and stronger. But the real Super Sonic isn't meant to have a multiplier. Super Saiyan, Mastered Super Saiyan, doesn't really have a multiplier. Grade 2 is stronger and faster than Grade 1. Grade 3 is 10 times as strong as Grade 1. Grade 4, it's, I don't know, it's stronger than Trunks and Vegeta combined. And Cell was referring to Trunks at his strongest. So Cell was implying that Goku had surpassed Grade 2 Super Vegeta and Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, essentially. So wherever that sits is way stronger. In Super Saiyan 2, it was 2 times Grade 4. And Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times Grade 2. I mean, Grade 5 or Super Saiyan 2. But we don't really know what grade... originally, back in the 90s, there wasn't no multiplier. It was just, Super Saiyan 3 is mad strong. That's why when people say Cell is solar system, Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times stronger than that. Because he's Super Saiyan 2 level. Super Saiyan 3 is multi-solar. That's why people make that mistake. Because the Super Exciting Guides came out in 2009. So these are recent. And this is just when death of the author occurs. Because there's no quantifiable number that makes sense within the confines. I mean, Cell went from solar system level, and then we just jump into Boo Saga with somebody who's destroying galaxies only a few years. Well, not even trying. And then we jump to Kid Buu, which in Dragon Ball Z Kai, which I expressed early in the stream is canon, in the Dragon Ball Z Kai, he was going to destroy the Dai Kaio planet, which is nearly the size of heaven. It's a smaller version of heaven, which should be like some smaller level of infinity because heaven should be infinite because it's as big as the infinite universe. Now, again, you see... Now, let's get back to this. Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, I can analyze the Fate verse. Yeah, no problem, Buddy Biggs. I'll take a look at it. Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Roswell and Andre understand that you need to like composite those two. But let's talk a little bit about. So you see these stars? This is the neutral zone that Champa was talking about. In fact, I'll pull that up. Let me pull that up. See, go to chapter 6. Chapter 6, page 10. Yeah, right here. Chapter 6, page 10. The tournament is to be held on a nameless planet floating in the neutral zone. It will start at 10 a.m. and 1 solar week on the 8th sun and 5 Earth days. So in other words, they use a different way to dilate time. So whatever this guy was talking about on that last statement, he's like, oh, but they have different flows. Yeah, they have different flows at times, but their different times can correlate and translate differently for everyone else. So just because time flows differently or is kept differently doesn't indicatively mean that it doesn't quantify as a different universe. So that was a stupid argument. Well, it's not a stupid argument. Let me take that back. I don't like to insult people. It was an ignorant argument. But anyway, so that's where the zone takes place. And this is, again, you see the pyramids? This is where Goku and he was. Goku and the other angel was. And again, they're not inside the universe. They're in between the universes. Okay? They're in the neutral space between universe 6 and 7, which means they're in between universes. So this is a completely different area. Now, again, in Dragon Ball, each universe has a different dilation of time. Now, some people say, isn't that immeasurable? Not quite, because the universes themselves don't act upon temporality. The neutral zone is still technically just a higher level universe. So it's not the same as transcending space-time. So that's why technically going to the neutral zone doesn't mean your immeasurable speed per se. But it does imply you need some level of infinite speed to get there. And this is where Goku says, yeah, this place isn't going to break if we go on a rampage. And he says, let's go out like we did in old times. So they go all out. They don't even hold back. Goku and Vegeta continue the training in the Room of Spirit and Time for 3 days, which means they trained for 3 years. So again, Toyotaro didn't retcon anything. It's just Miras was in a different version of the Room of Spirit and Time, which means there's different Rooms of Spirit and Times that exist. Meaning the neutral space we saw, or universe, has a different Room of Spirit and Time, a different set of space-time, which is very important to understanding the lore of Dragon Ball. It just goes to show you how big the Dragon Ball verse is. And then you have, this is technically the area they fought at. And this in this space, in this background you see, is infinitely larger than these macrocosms, which already have those subset infinities I told you about. So technically, destroying the background space, you see all these mini stars? Zamasu, in his infinite form, could destroy all of this, which implies he's infinitely above these macrocosms. Meaning he could, and he became the multiverse, which means he also became the background, because you can't get from multiverse to multiverse. He had to have transcended time, because remember, Zamasu's energy was leaking into a separate timeline. The timeline transcends everything that exists in this particular timeline. So that means this neutral space you see, Zamasu had to transcend that. So he became infinitely larger than the macrocosm, and because he became the timeline, he became infinitely larger than this background that you see. This background could contain infinite macrocosms. So again, Zamasu pretty much became like a 6th to 7th dimensional being. So he's like a mid-complex multiverse tier, and that's exactly how that works. And it's easy to understand this if you just take a look at the series and understand the lore that goes within it. But anyway, let me read the conversation again. What are your thoughts on the data books that say Yusuke and the others were still D-class even by the Dark Tournament? And if so, does this change anything from your other videos? Well, Mr. Hazama, it's a very... The data books kind of say D-class in a sense of like they were upper D-class in that sense. And it does change a bit in the last videos, so there may need to be an update, but I will speak with Yuyu Hakusho forever in terms of understanding the class rankings and seeing if I can get a proper translation. But Yuyu Hakusho Forever's Tumblr should provide that info. Oh, welcome Zowski to the live. All right, let's see. Power levels are exponential. Look at the 20%. 4 times might make SSJ the Galaxy Plus or higher. That's true, Andre, because power levels aren't consistent. For example, power level 180 versus 10,000. That's not consistently moon to Earth level because destroying the moon was really small planetary. So technically, a power level of 10,000 is like large planetary plus or dwarf star level because they scaled Vegeta. Remember when Vegeta blew up planet Arali? Somebody did a calc for that, and they proved that blowing up planet Arali and the distance of the explosion was considered to be dwarf star level. So again, it's not really something that tells you how strong someone is. Goku's power level was 3 million, yet that's not that far. That's like 200 times more than the recommended power level, or 3,000 times. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to put Goku in a level where he would be star level. But he was star level. Despite that, he was still in the star level ranges. But how? Well, again, it has to do with power levels. They scale linearly as far as numbers go and multipliers, but the key output isn't consistent. We don't know what the key output multiplier is. Because again, even Tien's Shin Kikoho was able to, hold back second form Cell. And that was crazy. Yeah, alternate dimensions refer to timelines as well. So that's why we were saying like the alternate timelines could have also been that. This is the original scan from Daizenshuu 4. Okay, this is Daizenshuu 4. And it does express here that in a infinite universe, like infinitely far away, or in a place that expands infinitely, like the infinitely expanded universe, implying that it's already past tense expanded to infinityism. And then it talks about, the Namekians and where they exist at. And this even speaks about areas where light cannot reach. So, and remember, in real science, we believe the universe is expanding at the speed of light. But here, light can't even reach the edge of the universe and such. So that implies it truly is infinite. Also, this is a scan of the Final Flash in Dragon Ball Kai. It's a bit larger, and you could tell by the luminosity of the background it went into. And you see the star cluster. There are way more stars. In the original, there wasn't this many stars. But in Dragon Ball Kai, they added more stars. So they're trying to convey how powerful Final Flash Vegeta was. And that may explain why he was able to actually damage Cell. Even though he really didn't hurt Cell, he was able to take off his arm. It's just that it has a large charge-up time. Ramiru Tempest, welcome to the stream. No, Xenogoku is not boundless. No. Boundless is in reference to being infinitely above hierarchies and not having a pure limitation to the infinity levels you can increase. So it's like, how do I put it? Xenogoku is a character who transcended his fiction. Dragon Ball Heroes has, oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna lay out. So remember before we talked about we'll go to the Kanzenshu. So we talked about this, the Macroverse. So imagine in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which is canon to Dragon Ball Heroes, and we know it's canon because the Charisma manga confirms this, and it talks about the events of Xenoverse. But you have Toriyama's original sketch, etc. So let's talk about this. Outside of these Macroverses, right? And we have Universe, there we go, Universe 10, depicted in the manga. And in the Omni King realm, we don't even know how large this realm is. I mean, in this realm, they see these universes as like bowling balls. So it could be a higher dimension, which is exactly what it most likely, or 9 times out of 10 is. We have all right, so let's get started. You have the afterlife, and I just expressed to you the regular living world is infinite. Heaven in this world is the size of the universe, okay? How can you be the size of infinite unless the afterlife itself is infinitely larger? Well, it would make sense for heaven to be that size because there's infinite life that will always be perpetrated throughout history. Heaven doesn't have time per se, so things are a little bit different. How can it be? So that means heaven can't really expand. So let's say even if you say, oh, the universe is infinitely expanding, how can you infinitely expand if you have a heavenly counterpart that's the same size as you, but there's no time? That would mean heaven would have stopped expanding. Some people theorize that, and they say that's why it's only as big as the observable universe, but that wouldn't make sense for them to compare it to that size if they already claimed it was infinite. So heaven is, of course, by logic, infinite. I think Chuck did a video that also talked about that as well. And again, the RPG data books in 1998 already confirmed that this is a higher dimension. So let's move on. Then you have the Makai. And let's see if we can get to those. Because you have other realms that are infinitely larger. You have the Kaioshin realm, 1/10 the size of this infinityism. And then you have the Kanoyu, which is the world. In contrast, the world in the afterlife. It's Gensai, the present world. And notice they use the term present. So again, you have the Seguro space. You have the room of spirit and time. Right here, as they state, the room of spirit and time. You have the Seguro space, which is GT. But remember, Capsule Goku knew who Bojack was. He knew who Bojack was in Turles. So that confirms Capsule Goku is like a different continuity of Dragon Ball Super Goku. So they experienced the movies. So they scale to the movies. And then you have the universe, which is the outside, which is this. And it's divided into 4 galaxies that have, their levels. And there's even a statement that claims that there's infinite galaxies. And they say there's no visual division between them and considered as borders drawn on the map, like countries. It's not clear what significance the cardinal directions will have on space, but the map in Dragon Ball shows what appears to be the division lines between the galaxies and greater than the living world's outer walls. The outer walls being the outer essence of the infinityism. And then you have, the sentient life, the law enforcements, and all these other things. Dragon Ball is a very crazy long series. Then you have Beerus' realm. But anyway, you have the demon world, which is the Makai realm, which is where they're fighting. Gohan and them are fighting. The nether world, the spirit world, Then you have, in the games, you have the dream realm, the mental realm, which the mental realm is where all thoughts and possibilities go. We see the mental realm between, let me see, Kitella talks with Sidra. So we see this, they're talking from universes away through telepathy communication. And Piccolo was able to use this telepathy communication when he was talking to Gotenks in the Room of Spirit and Time. So despite Gotenks being in a separate space-time, Piccolo could still communicate to him. So the mental realm transcends the multiverse because there's no limit to where the mind can think. So the mental realm is also what Demigra was going to destroy. So keep that in mind. The thoughts and aspects and dreams that are contained within the infinityism of the actual multiverse, the infinite caretakers, the thoughts of the caretakers, the thoughts of Zuno, who is omniscient or nigh omniscient. Then you have the thoughts of the angels, the angel realm, and all these things. The angel realm may not count because that wasn't in Xenoverse yet at the time. But all these things I'm naming are all part of the Xenoverse macrocosm. And each macrocosm has these levels of infinityisms and such, and realms that transcend it all. Yet, Demigra could destroy all of this on an infinite level. All of this. He could destroy an infinite copy of these mental realms, dream realms, macrocosms, neutral zones that infinitely transcend the macrocosm, but the mental realm transcends the neutral zone. So that technically means if the neutral zone is 6D, that means the mental realm is 7th dimensional. And that means the timeline that contains all history of all thoughts, all events, and all congruent infinities, that means that itself is like 8th dimensional, And then you got the the crack of time, which transcends the timelines. And that's like ninth dimensional or even higher. And then Super Saiyan God is stated to be an infinite multiplier because the God key is on another plane of existence, which is why it can't be detected or compared. This is why Goku said, it's a form I will never reach on my own with no amount of training. Because even if you gave Goku 1 billion years, he wouldn't reach the level of Super Saiyan God. That's how crazy that power upgrade is. Frieza's just plot-induced stupidity. Frieza just happened to get that strong because Toriyama wrote it that way. But anyway, I hope that explains the basic. Keep in mind, all of this, Demigod transcended all of this. And keep in mind, One Piece has its own set of infinite history and such that is canon to Xenoverse. So Shonen is included as well. Yet, Demigod could destroy all of them. All of this. Easily. And recreate all of it at that same level and capacity. In fact, Demigod transcended into the real world, which sees them all as fiction. So even if I lowball the real world as only being one transcendental dimension higher, that would still make them 10th dimensional. And then the infinite multiplier could arguably put them at that transcend could easily put them at a level of 11th dimensional low hyperversal. So they would be low hyperversal even at the lowest lowball. And if we're being realistic, Goku's 4D movie feats occur, which Revolution did a video on that. And then you have to factor in Goku transcended fiction in his base form, Xeno base form, and was able to beat Demigod. And in the mission itself, you only have to use Super Saiyan 1. So Goku doesn't even go Super Saiyan 2 or 3. Xeno Goku was able to transcend all of that and defeat him. And we already know the author is the guy who created Dragon Ball Heroes, meaning the author is infinite. The author could add more infinite dimensions in itself if he wanted to. So that's why Beat's world technically quantifies as outerversal, or at least high hyperversal. Because again, it's infinitely above Dragon Ball Heroes. They're literally a video game to them. They're a concept of a game. They're not real, at least to them. Yet they can transcend that aspect, that conceptual aspect, and become real. Anyway, let me just read what the chat said. Sorry about that. That was a long explanation, but that kind of goes into it. I'm going to even this out and give a better video and explanation on it. But answer your question, short end, no, he's not boundless, but he is definitely very, 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 very strong. He's definitely like 1B, 1A type of tier. Let's see here. Hey, Atari, how do you think Goku Black... let me see here. Oh, just hold on to add 9 parallels. So far, only God Fusion Goku is. Yeah, God Fusion Goku could be argued boundless because, he fuses with me, you, Andre, pretty much everyone in the chat he fuses with. So it's kind of stupid. It's like Milkman Superman, It's like you don't use those guys. They're not meant for versus battles. Well, let's see here. Do you think Goku Black would have turned if he stuck around and helped Goku in the, Pyramid of Power? How do you think he scaled his ability to get strong? Goku Black would have been very powerful in the Tournament of Power. He would have been one of the strongest fighters there. But the problem would have been Jiren would have seen this potential danger and would have bodied him before he can even do that. Goku Black wouldn't have Ultra Instinct, which seems to allow Goku to go beyond the level he needed to in order to combat with Jiren. So given that acknowledgement, I think Goku Black would have lasted. Goku Black would have probably lasted to the end. But the thing is, he wouldn't have Zamasu to heal him. So because he doesn't have Zamasu to heal him, he would, of course, run out of stamina. But he'd recover quickly like Goku as well. But it would just be a difficult battle for Jiren. It would just be a difficult battle. But Jiren will still win. I think he'd stop at like Kefla level. Let's see here. Do you know how to scale Rimuru in the Mobius system? I want to learn more about it, but after you're done. So I don't know how to scale Rimuru Tempest 100% yet, but I do personally think Rimuru... So the Versus Battle Wiki does say some things about Rimuru Tempest. And let me just make it clear. I think Rimuru is an interesting character. I just don't like when you have cringy comments that say Rimuru solos all of Dragon Ball. Like, it's like... Because my question comes down to, he solos all of Dragon Ball. Why? That's my question. That's all I'm asking. Why does he solo Dragon Ball and how? Because if Rimuru is strong, He's definitely immeasurable. Should be immeasurable speed. But why do you say he solos Dragon Ball? You can't say he solos something that we have, because when you say he solos, we got to talk about Goku, the parallel versions of Goku, the parallel versions of Beerus and the other gods. Then we got to talk about the angels, and then we got to talk about the Grand Priest, and then Zeno. Do you know how much power scaling that requires? I don't think people understand that. And I've already expressed how big the afterlife is in the mental realm and all that, and how like Zeno could destroy all of that. I don't think Rimuru scales to that tier yet. I think it's too early to make that assessment. So instead of saying Rimuru solos Dragon Ball, it should be, how does Rimuru do in the Tournament of Power? That would be interesting. And I think Rimuru would make it towards the end of the Tournament of Power personally. Rimuru is very strong. It may not scale attack potency wise, but the hacks, it's those hacks, man. But let's see. So they'll put something like Rimuru is immeasurable. Time warp can transcend time and space. Good. But the thing is, they say, so let's read this right here. As much time has passed, there is an enormous amount of energy that turned null, so been turned to nothing, that has been restored. Veldanava seems to have turned null when creating the world, but you still have imaginary space, so there should not be a problem. As imaginary space is infinite, it has not become full, but it has been loaded with enough energy to rebuild worlds 10,000s of times over. The problem is, I don't even know if this is the official translation. Rebuild worlds 10,000s of times over? Well, it's saying worlds, so it's building more than one world with more than 10,000 times the amount of energy. So that does quantify as multiversal. At least 20,000 times going by this. It says tens of thousands, so it could be 100,000. If I may add, this means that you can replicate every person you were ever involved with, including their memories. So again, it shows that Rimuru has that capacity to go beyond just, it seems Rimuru has mental and astral aspects in this case, and you can create a world that is as close as you can possibly get to the world you left. What will you do? So Rimuru in this case, this ain't something you say solos, certain fictions, but this is something you say that definitely deserves, I would say he's high 2B. Like, he's high multiverse level. He's in the higher multiverse range. I mean, the 100,000 multiverses, and he's just saying it has enough energy that's been stored. This doesn't say Rimiru's limit. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but Rimuru has turned null, which is the primary order of energy, which allows the user to destroy the existing worlds and create new ones. This is just saying the energy that was left over. It doesn't really quantify Rimiru's limits. So I think you could argue a infinite multiverse Rimuru if you hire a highball. But yeah, God, Topo, and Jiro might be too much for black. I agree, because I've seen scales of high, outerversal, and boundless. I just want to confirm. So I don't think the Mobius system, or I don't think Rimuru goes to that outerverse tier. In fact, I don't even think Daiziri goes to outerverse. I think saying they're high outerverse, they need more evidence. The pages, remember, Versus Battle Wikia is not the official end-all, be-all. It's just a website that's trying to give out information on character profiles. I'm going to quote Seth the Programmer. Their tiering system, excellent. Attack potency system, genius. Very convenient. Speed system, bingo, like Botan would say. But their character pages, trash. Trash. Absolute trash. Not trash. And obviously, it took effort to make these. So I commend all efforts that have been put. But I think a lot more effort more effort needs to be put into these page. And the moderation, there needs to be new moderators to be active. There needs to be new moderators to be active, and there needs to be more arguments that are presented. I mean, keep in mind, guys, they said Roshi wasn't moon level for 6 years. Think about that. Just think about it. 6 freaking years. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely pathetic. That's terrible. It makes me very upset to hear that. But anyway, Goku Black in a tournament of power, that would be very interesting. But I think Chuck covered the idea. Yeah, he did. That sounds like stuff for BB for the Fate universe. I don't know what the imaginary space is, but BB has gone past it and sees all time at once. Sorry, geek talk done. No worries. If somebody from Fate verse has gone beyond that, you can argue that they be in the 6-dimensional ranges, which makes sense because Saber already expressed to having 6D protection from her blade, if I remember, six-dimensional defense. So, like, let's say Saber fought Infinite Zamasu. Saber herself may not be like, I'm gonna destroy infinite 5D universes, or rather, oh, you could destroy infinite 5D universe. No worries, my blade goddess protected. Goku, stand back. Everyone stand back. Goku, you need a sense of being. We ain't got one, but stand back and behind my sword. We got this. She blocks it all, with the Absalon. I think it's the Absalon or Excalibur. See, sorry, it's been a while, so I apologize. Yeah, no, the Versus Battle Wiki has been terrible. They even sent Seth the programmer an apology letter because Seth called them out and they finally changed it. And it's like, I think because Seth has gotten more subscribers, they listen to him. Because SSJ Ryu has came up with even stronger compelling arguments and they still ignored him. And Seth has acknowledged that SSJ Ryu is one of the top people he's ever debated, period. And even thinks that he's at his level. Or at least kind of compares him to that. At least Seth has said he's one of the best debaters he's listed on his like top, I think it was top 20 or I forgot. But I know he did mention it. So it's very clear that SJ Ryu is not average. He's very good at debating. But Versus Battle Wiki said, no, I just think my incredulous bias of, cognitive dissonance doesn't allow me to believe that. I'm sorry. I can't. Goku destroying a complex multiverse, that's just too much for my mind to process. I mean, look how small he is. He's just a human. He can't do all of that. So that's the stuff you'll hear from these guys all the time. But overall, bottom line, Goku is definitely in those ranges. I think this guy is still going. Let me see. He probably commented again. Yeah, he commented again. I think he commented again. I think he said I was a DBZ fan. Oh yeah, he didn't respond to my new comment. Yeah, I don't think they have a rhetoric. I don't think they have any rejoinder against that right now. But it's okay. But yeah, there's like a lot of problems I have with people. It's like this. I mean, Yuak can view the future and choose which one he wants. Choose one that he wants to happen. So then I'm gonna ask. So I'm gonna ask Bern Constel. Okay. So can he choose? So if that is the case, is there a scan of him pulling a future event and choosing it? Okay, so I'm gonna ask questions. 1, and then number 2, can he react to these characters from blitzing him before he does so? 3, what possible futures can he even choose from when most DB characters are casual? Destroying them there doesn't nullify the present or parallel counterparts. So are there any scans of this being done? So again, I like Yuha, but if you're going to say he could just go, oh look, a timeline where Goku lost this, I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to choose that I want that to happen. Show me that Yuha can change fate of reality of the interdimensional universes in Dragon Ball as casual as he wants. Show me he has done that in the series, and then I'll believe. Because otherwise, I don't think he even makes it past Cell. or Kid. And if he does make it past Cell, which I don't see his attack potency going that high, show me he makes it past Buu Saga, because I don't think so. I don't think he's going to make it past Buu Saga because he's not as fast as any of them. Certain characters like the Kaioshin would just read his mind and see his intent. Goku can already sense malice in what he's going to do, so give me an example of that. And Buhan already kind of has trans-dimensional and trans-temporal hacks. And so does Gotenks, because Gotenks has the same ability that he used to escape the room of spirit and time. Sorry to bring up God of War. When you said the Jormungand flood, the realms between realms, did you mean the Ymera instead? Because I know the Ymera did that. And I keep getting told the moon feat is an outlier because King Piccolo evidently is only city level. That's stupid. SSJ Ryu 1 has all evidence in the world, going to be hard to argue, LOL. Yeah, he does. Buddy Big, sounds like they do not get the concept of a thing called attack potency. Were you freaked out about the Adam versus Zeus battle? I didn't see the Adam versus Zeus battle. I will watch it, though. Perhaps, LOL. I can't say, but then again, I've been told I'm too nice of a debater. Yeah, I can be nice as a debater, but still get the point across. Because my point just comes down to, if this is your claim, back it up. Because, guys, you've seen the argument here. I said, any examples of him being able to steal forms of energy? Like, has Yuha ever stole ki? Can he steal ki? Any examples of him seeing 100 years into the future to certify his win? How do we know Goku won't? How do we know he won't see Goku snapping into Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan embodying him? And what is his massively fast and light speed count? Because otherwise, he's not going to be able to react early to Android Saga characters and late game Cell Saga characters. You also can't assert he goes beyond Universal without evidence. Otherwise, it's a no limits fallacy. Because you're saying, and you say you don't seem to get that Ewok is just too broken. That's not an argument. That's a claim. That's a claim upon my ignorance of the character's capabilities. You're making the claim of how strong Ewok is, so you need to provide those scans. And he could literally pull something out of his ASS and gain a win. That's not an argument. That doesn't make any sense. He could pull out something out of his butt and win. So that doesn't tell me anything. Unless they have it somehow negate him. I don't know. Maybe Dragon Balls or God Dragon Balls would help. Even then, he still sees in the future and makes it so the wish doesn't work on him. Like, he is just too broken. Has he ever made somebody's wish not come true? Show me scans of him doing that. Because as far as I'm concerned, he has levels of fate manipulation that backfired because Ichigo, if I recall, Ichigo surpassed him with a causality. I don't even know how the heck this is going to even work. So again, if you don't have evidence, you're just making no limits fallacy claims about Yuha. And that's literally all that's being made. In fact, I don't even think Yuha can beat all of Naruto. I think Naruto slaps him, to be honest. You want me to be honest with you? I don't think Yuha beats Naruto. You can say, oh, he could look into the future. See, what future does Naruto have that he could look into and choose? He could just choose that. That doesn't make any sense. That's like, so let me get this straight. Let's say he fought Reinhardt, who transcends time. He's fighting Reinhardt, right? And he's fighting Ramiro Tempest at the same time. Both characters transcend time. Reinhardt and Ramiro Tempest transcends time. Right? Let's just say he's fighting him. Yuha's like, yeah, let's go. I'm a body you. And then Reinhardt is just like, bro, you're like infinitely weaker than me. And Yuha's like, well, it doesn't matter. I want this future where I win. What timeline is Yuha going to ever beat Reinhardt? You know, somebody who can exist on infinite multiverse levels, and someone like Ramiro who could exist in like 100,000 multiverses. What multiverse timeline is he even going to choose? And even if he fought any of them, he's not beating the Ramiro or the Reinhardt or the Goku he's fighting at that present. He's choosing a different version of them to fight them. That's not soloing the sagas. That's going to a different point in time to fight a saga that might not even exist. We're talking about the Buu Saga. The Buu Saga doesn't exist in Trunks' timeline. So what timeline is he going to choose? It's just too many questions. It offers more questions than answers, and it becomes convoluted. So it's more like an argument to ambiguity and possibility rather than an actual argument that holds merit. It's terrible. But what's up, Gohan? This video makes me wonder if 6th tier from BlazBlue characters from the first 3 games is valid, since they said they'll be low 6B, which I feel is like a low ball. Well, of course it is. It's terrible. Oh, by the way, Saber Sword protects her called Avalon. That's what it is. Avalon, not Absalon. It's Avalon. The Avalon. The Avalon is 6-dimensional, yeah. A debater that's aware of logical fallacies. I'm in heaven. Thanks, Gohan. I appreciate it. I'm just like I'm going to make this claim again. I like all fictions. And I don't think Dragon Ball beats everyone. No. I just think that if you're going to make a claim that Yuha clears an entire Dragon Ball gauntlet with no difficulty, you got to back up your claim. Show me that Yuha can go to different timelines or segments. Why does he beat Boo? Why does he beat Kid? Why does he beat the androids? Not even Cell. Why does he beat the androids? Has anyone in Bleach been able to just... No, let's go to Frieza Saga. Seriously. Has anyone in Bleach casually lifted their finger and blew up a planet with 10 times gravity, 10 times density, and 10 times the blast radius to be Dwarf Star, while sitting down and laughing at the blast point blank blowing up in their face? Has anyone done that? And again, I'm not trying to point out a false dilemma, which a false dilemma is like when you kind of give like an ultimatum between 2 answers. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I know. It's like Yu Yu Hakusho. Nobody needs to blow up a planet to do that, but there's evidence to support that a Yu Yu Hakusho character is hundreds of times above planetary, thousands of times above planetary. I can prove that with scans and with calcs. But in Bleach, where is there any consistency to support that? The best bet is if you highball and say the Soul Society is a parallel universe, which it is, and then you say the living world is also a parallel universe, and like Yamamoto could destroy that, and he's universal. But then Yamamoto destroying the universal size Soul Society doesn't mean crap, because even if he destroyed both universes, which is low multiversal, Buhan is destroying the Room of Spirit and Time, the infinite universe, the infinite Makai, the infinite afterlife, the infinite heaven, the infinite hell, the infinite enema world, the infinite time, the pendulum room, the time room, the dream realm, the alternate dimensions that can even be timelines, and the Kaioshin realm. So Buhan would still slap Yamamoto with no difficulty. So there's no argument there either. Even if you assert Yamamoto and highball him to that level, the only way you can actually make an argument is if you say Ichigo was 5th dimensional because of his statement with Aizen. But we all know that's not true because there's no evidence of that it scales to actual spatial dimensions. Aizen's using a spatial dimension as an analogy, but he's not saying that it is completely congruently factual, because otherwise he would never have hurted Ichigo or never have given Ichigo a slight burn injury from a point blank. I forgot what that attack was called. It was like not a Grand Raicero, it was something else. Anyway, let me read this. Sorry guys, I've been going off. Tari, you got me dead over here laughing when you said he can't even beat all of Naruto. Perfection. Well, now this admittedly has me thinking some of my thoughts on Goku versus some fake characters. Oh man, Atari's. Hey man, I'm sorry man. I have to let you guys know, like, there's a lot of claims that are being made that don't always add up. You can make as many claims until you're blue in the face, but if none of them add up, then it's stupid. It's pointless. Stop making claims unless you back them up. I'm going to give you guys an example of a claim I made on a post. Let's see here. I think I had a comment over here. Because people were saying, oh, what hacks? Stop with the no limits fallacy about hacks. It's so stupid. They're talking about the characters who could beat the Big Five. I mean, there's a lot of characters who could beat Dragon Ball, but again, that's just someone trying to stroke their ego. Okay, let's see here. I made a post before. Hold on, this ain't it. I'm gonna show you guys right now. In fact, let's view my message wall. Yeah, let's go to my about, because I made 67 posts. I'm gonna go down all my posts that I made. So let's look at this statement I made. Let me just close out a lot of windows that don't make any sense. Also, Orihime ain't beating Law. That's stupid. So I put here, in my opinion, based on the cosmology of Dragon Ball GT with the addition of the Segura realm in between dimensions as far as attack potency goes. So he asked me, how can Goku be 2B? And then I explained to him in a comment below. So right here, you see all these. So I want you guys, chat, pay attention. For those curious as to why I said maybe 2A, the macrocosm. So we look up the word macrocosm, right? You see here? Continue their brawl, hitting each other again and again with a power capable of destroying even the universe itself, meaning the macrocosm. That means Goku and Beerus, each punch, each kick, each knee, each headbutt has enough power to destroy the macroverse, which I already expressed to you how big that is. There's a consistency. The Heaven Realm, Kyle Realm, Enma Realm, Hell. Room of Spirit and Time, Universe, and Demon World. 1/10 of all realms prior, with the living world's normal universe in it already being confirmed infinite per Daizenshuu 4 right here and Daizenshuu 7. So I leave links. You click on the link. Oh, this link. This link ain't good. Oh, I already showed you guys the scan. It was the scan with Guru sitting down. But here's the other one where it's in support of the Daizenshuu 7. So this gives you clarity that it's a separate realm. You know, see, they quantify it as a separate realm. It says heavenly realm, etc. And then I talk about this confirms it being 2C, such as beings like Majin Buu, Gohan, Absorb. And then I click on that. And then I go to this scan. We've seen this scan already. Then we go here. GT Goku already surpassed this version of Buu along with Rildo, Baby, Super 17, and Omega Shenron plus additional 100 years. He'd be a solid 2B. However, the 2A point has more so to do with the space between universe, arguably being infinitely on an orthogonal angle since the Kaioshin realm exists outside the macroverse. Again, this isn't Dragon Ball Super, so cosmology is slightly different, but overall I want to change the term maybe more so highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely it's 2A, but 2B is one of my final answers. And then he's just trying to debunk that whole idea, you know. And I said, prove they're not separate realms then. He's saying, at best, bring me proof they are. So he tried to shift the burden of proof. And then I talked about this in my dimensional video where this is actually a user. I don't want to bring up users typically because I don't want to like get people to attack them, but I know you guys will behave. But stop shifting the burden of proof to improve your point. He didn't prove his point. And he said, stop shifting the burden of proof. Bro, you started this. You should take out the proofs. And I say, my premise was made. You made the claim saying afterlife, blah, 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 Kashin aren't continuum existence, that time just flows different. I said, despite me citing my evidence above. And you said, your two links of D4 and D7 are invalid because I don't speak English. And because Daizenshuu 7 links don't work. Oh my gosh. He said they're invalid because he doesn't speak English. They aren't time continuous because in Dragon Ball they never told us they were different realms with different time. He just contradicted himself. I literally just showed you the Room of Spirit and Time has a different time flow and you just conceded to that in the first place. You said time just flows different and different flow time exists in real life too. But we know the Room of Spirit of Time is an alternate universe. And the guy even said use use Google Translate. Goku is physically able to travel between the afterlife and mortal realm. That means they are not. And then you got this guy who thinks he knows about it. Go to Q&A and they'll tell you why. That's also false because that's been debunked as well. And I did bring this up actually in the QA, and Versus Battle said,
This has already been debunked. We can't accept this. It's Dragon Ball. We can't.
But anyway. Let me just claims with no evidence are lies. Yeah, I agree. Mighty Jin, War Art greater than Namek Saga. Like, yeah, that can be arguable. Yeah, that's more than likely. But like, let me see here. Oh, for me, it's because I completely forgot about a lot of that stuff about causality stuff. If you travel through a different dimension of time, are you fifth dimensional? Yeah, I know, Andre. I don't speak English. That was literally his argument. I don't speak English. I got kicked out of base GT Goku being as powerful as he was. Like, yeah, I know. It's just, and then this guy, I already talked about this.
Oh, well, he's 25 septillion.
Actually, he's 33 septillions. Anyway, he's tillions of times stronger than the last, which was low 2C and didn't become 2C. It doesn't matter because Goku proved he can affect the room of spirit and time, the demon world, the living world, and the afterlife, which are all separate universes. And he proved he can hurt the Kaioshin realm, and which exists outside of all of that. It orbits the actual macroverse. So if Goku actually shows his energy is trans-dimensional, because again, you need teleportation to get to the afterlife, implying it's separate, he's already proven he has trans-dimensional levels. So therefore, Goku has already proven himself to be upper 2C, which is low multiversal. And then now that we've proven he's low multiversal, we can now appropriately stack on multipliers. Because that's literally what they did for Rimuru. They did that for Rimuru Tempest. They said you can replicate, they said enough to rebuild worlds. And then they say tens of thousands of times over. Goku has energy that can destroy the afterlife, living world, and time chamber, and the Kaioshin realm by going by his Super Saiyan God multiplier being at the bare minimum at least Super Vegito level. Super Vegito is at least, let's just lowball. Super Saiyan 3 is 400 times multiplier, right? Super Vegito is at least 50 times stronger than Super Saiyan 3 because, again, base Vegito is stronger than him, whatever. At the bare minimum, that's a 20,000 times multiplier. So using the same logic they used for Rimuru Tempest, Goku would be able to stack on 20,000 with the Super Saiyan God multiplier. And since Blue is 50 times that because it's a Super Saiyan version of Super Saiyan God, that's 100,000 times multiplier. Or 1,000,000 times multiplier, if I recall. No, I think it's 100,000. So if we already have something that's like a solid 100,000 to at least, 1,000,000 times or whatever multiplier, then Goku should still be 2B. So that guy's statement literally didn't make any sense. And the other guy just contradicted himself. That didn't make no sense at all. I do have a Discord. I do have a Discord. People still think it's Saitama can one-shot Goku Galactus Superman because he's One Punch Man. And that joke, that he broke his limit. Yeah, exactly. Like, even if you say, oh, he broke his limiter. Okay. Patrick.
Yeah?
Tell me how much he's broken his limiter to.
I don't know. I guess, he's infinite.
Infinite what?
I don't know. He's infinite universal.
Okay, so he's high universal. Has he broken his limiter to the point where he became 4D?
What's 4D?
Exactly. That's pretty much how the entire community acts. It's literally like, you're not as smart as me, SpongeBob. I already know he's not universal. That's literally the entire community. Self-indulged, high, cocky, arrogant, prideful individuals who think they know more about Dragon Ball than they actually do in other series, and then they lowball them. In fact, I think Rimuru Tempest is stronger than 2B, but they won't believe. They probably would be like, they're not that strong. I'm not a Meshi. You're a Meshi. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a bit too much fun, but the community it's fun. It's not too stressful. I just like to poke fun of it. Poking fun of it relieves my stress in a sense, Let's see here. Who would win? Well, I don't debate here. I'd rather do voice chat. Yeah, he was asking for my Discord because he said the Flash beats Superman, and I'm like, composite Flash beats composite Superman. I'm like, bro, no version of Flash is beating cosmic armor. Stop. And this image right here, look at the bleed space. See how the creepy guts of that cyborg architecture keep shifting? It's rotating through the fifth dimensional around the fixed point in the structure of the multiverse of orderly of worlds. So in other words, it's hold on, let's look at this scan. Let's look at what Mr. Mixie Picklick says. Oh man, it's undefined. Whatever. Mixie, ugh. I'm sorry, guys. Mixie has already expressed this before, that only certain beings can access the sixth dimension. And Flash is not one of them. So no. Stop. Which is also why Flash cannot beat Archie Sonic. I'll get into that another way. I know that's the thumbnail. I got to change the thumbnail. Flash is not beating Archie Sonic. Heck no. And the Speed Force is not out of Versal. I don't know why people think it is. If it is, give me a scan to prove it. You know, I'm always open-minded, but Archie Sonic would absolutely dust Flash. Because Archie Sonic already went to the Cosmic Interstate. The Cosmic Interstate is outside of parallel timelines. So the Cosmic Interstate is a 5D realm. And that's where Zone Cop Sonic looks at. And then you have the other Chaos realm. Then you have the Chaos Force, which is the Afterlife. Which the Afterlife is above the infinite other realms, which comes from Marvel and Capcom. Ashura's Wrath came out in like 2012-ish or so, or 2011-ish or something like that. And Capcom's entire continuity, including Street Fighter and all that. In fact, I can pull up the scan. Archie, Sonic, Street Fighter. And by the way, Ninja Turtles are in the Archie comics too. But yeah, in Worlds Collide, Ryu and the Street Fighter cast, like the Street Fighter universe and multiverse, as well as the Capcom multiverse and continuity, is all existent in the Archie. And yes, Archie Ryu is multiversal. Anyway, or at least universal or something like that. But anyway, it's not about them. The fact is, Street Fighter does exist in the Archie area, and they do exist. Worlds Collide includes multiple Capcom characters. I don't think SNK is in there, because if SNK was in, then it's GG. Unplug your controller. But there's a lot. X, Mega Man X, and all of that is in Archie. So, with that said, this should already be a sign or an indicator of how strong they are. And this is Archie. Yes, that is M. Bison. Okay? Or Dictator, as we like to call it in the FGC. But regardless, and I don't know if you guys knew this. There's Strides, there's Author, there's Knights, who is Sega. That's Sega, but that's not Capcom. But then you have Author, which is Capcom, Strides, which is Capcom, and we all know how strong Strides is. We have Ryu, which is Capcom, Mega Man, which is Capcom, Alex Kidd, which is Capcom, and Okami. Freaking Okami. Yet Sonic reset all of their universe and their multiverse as well when he gave Mega Man the power of the Chaos Energy. And you're going to tell me that Flash can beat that? I know I'm jumping off all over the place because I was supposed to stick with versus battles, but I just had to address that, man. That is terrible. Oh, yeah, Ashura's Wrath. Yeah, Ashura's Wrath is ridiculous, man. I used to think they were only Universal Plus, but I think they're higher than that now. Yeah, Milkman, Cosmic Army. Oh, yeah, Milkman, Superman. Yeah, man, Flash is getting slapped. He is getting slapped. Flash doesn't stand a chance. I think Sonic is faster than Flash. I know there's people like, oh, Flash is faster than the concept of instant. Okay. Goku and Metacooler are able to react and move in the quantum space of instantaneous movement, which is transdimensional. So are we going to talk about them being immeasurable? Because they are. I mean, and Metacooler and Goku are still infinitely slower than other movie characters later on, like Janemba and such. So, I mean, if you want to go there, we can go there, but, I don't get that. Slash and Rebirth ran through Hyper Time, which is infinite timelines above the DC multiverse. Is that what you heard, or is that what you can confirm with the scan? And it's not calling you out. It's just saying that if there's anything that could be recited, then I want to look at them closer. Because if Flash could do that, then that could give him a degree. But it's hard because the DC multiverse has like so many statements that seem to contradict themselves. Like certain beings can go 6D, some can go 5D, not everyone can go fifth dimensional. So we have to look at a lot of variables here to really get a consistency for his power. Because it's like, remember when Goku bit Whis? Imagine if I said Goku bit Whis and hurt him. That means Goku could bypass Whis' Ultra Instinct with his teeth. Goku's teeth has anti-Ultra Instinct hacks. Like, that's stupid. Can't use that. But, Alright, it's getting relatively late. So I'm gonna end the stream at 8:30, so yeah. Oh yeah, and Archie Sonic does make his own wishes. Yeah, Gohan, if you could post the link, that's fine. But let's see here. We'll see. I do want to just include to everyone else that this is pretty much concluding everything else, and everyone else has been supportive and thanking me. I thank you for your support in the channel and such. I just wanted to prove that Archie Sonic he's no joke. Dragon Ball is no joke. People underestimate it. I don't know why. Maybe they like crack. I don't. That's what they smoke. I don't know. I mean, look at Goku. Look at this. Universe Plus fought Jiren at full power, even though Jiren broke his like what? And it even says here, traded blows heavenly. He was repeatedly described as strongest enemy the universe had ever faced, thus superior than infinite Zamasu. But that's stupid. But look at it. Look. Infinite Zamasu. Ready. Low multiverse, as stated by Gawasu and Beerus, Zamasu in his state was becoming one with the multiverse and overriding its law and order. Yep. He's trying to become the multiverse. He cast off his form as a god and is trying to become justice and order itself, the universe, which is meaning that Zamasu is becoming gravity, time, etc., because that's the law and that's the order of the universe. He's becoming the law, the gravity, the room of spirit and time. He's becoming everything. And they say he's omnipresent. And he was even shown to be in the present timeline, was affecting the present. Okay, they acknowledge this, right? They gave him low multiversal. But tell me why they literally said, oh my gosh, look at, they literally said superior than infinite Zamasu. Yet Goku is still not low multiversal. What is wrong with the versus battle community? Y'all see that? That doesn't make any sense at all. How are you surpassed? You know what's even worse? Let's look at Beerus. Steel Universe Plus. Let's look at Whis. What are they going to say about Whis? Likely low multiverse should be more powerful than Beerus and Champa combined and casually one-shot Beerus, who's comparable to Champa, could purge two universes if he and his brother fought. So let me get this straight. So the versus battle, I got to screenshot this. Hold on. This is crackhead stuff right here. Oh, this is crackhead stuff. So they... Hold on, open that link back up. Bring yours back here, boy. Should a fight annihilate Universe 6 and 7? So they acknowledge. So Universe 6 and 7, chat. The Versus Battle Wiki acknowledged that Universe 6 and 7 are two separate continuums. Okay? Infinite Zamasu was going to take over all of this and became the universe and law itself, and he likely took over the timeline because Gawasu and them would have just teleported to Universe 10 or to the Zeno realm, but they didn't. So Zamasu took over this and became one with the entire multiverse because that's what he did. He became part of the multiverse. Otherwise, Zeno would have just destroyed Universe 7, not the entire existence, meaning he was everywhere. And it would make sense. Zamasu's from Universe 10. Why would he stop at Universe 7 only? He wouldn't stop his mortal plan only there. He wanted to take over the multiverse with the Zeraza destructions. So if they just acknowledge that Universe 6 and 7 is separate universes, they acknowledge that, they conceded, then that means that destroying the timeline, okay, is infinitely above Universe 6 and 7. Because again, I showed you the neutral zone, the space between universes, is infinitely larger than the macrocosms, meaning it could fit infinite macrocosms. So if it could fit infinite macrocosms, that would be 5D. And then the timeline would be 6D, which is something Zamasu took over. So they will be conceding that characters like Zamasu, who took over more than one 6-dimensional timeline, is 6-dimensional, low 6-dimensional. And so that by proxy, that would mean Kefla, Jiren, Dispo, upgraded Dispo, Golden Frieza, upgraded Sandre 17, etc., would surpass the Zamasu. And that would mean that they are literally complex multi. Their own logic fails. You seen that? They can't even keep consistency upon their own logic. And thank you for the scan. We're gonna take a look at it. Remember SSJ4 Gogeta being solar system? Oh yeah. Broly versus Devil Hawk? That might be interesting. Hawk is no joke, but depends on which Broly. If they use Dragon Ball Super Broly, I think Dragon Ball Super Broly has more potential because he exceeds the infinity hierarchy. Unless we're using Beyonder's statement about Hawk. Since he's the son of the one below all. Let's see here. Hyper Time. I didn't believe it was real. I had to see it for myself. Here, I can pick and choose the reality I want. I'll be the hero we need. For I need is the last force. Wally, I think he's talking about the Still Force. The Justice League encountered it in recent alternate current to the Speed Force. Well, whatever. It is not where it is. All right. Well, whatever it is. Well, whatever it is, we're not going to let Zoom get his hands, on it. But we have another problem. Barry, I've been in hypertime before. This doesn't look right. It must be dying. Well, another side effect of the break in the source wall. Maybe that's why what he needs. Or why he needs. Wait. Eerie Jai, their future. Wally, you need to. Wally starts to understand Barry. We can. So it's hard to really tell if this scan is telling us that it's out of Versal. I wouldn't say this is out of Versal on the scan unless there's more to it. But I would say that this hyper time means that it's beyond the fifth dimensional area. So it's like fifth. So you know how there's 4D time and then outside of fourth dimensionality, that's outside of space time. Well, the probability plane. I'm gonna show you an image of it. Probability plane. Because DC follows this theory. Not a probability plane, airplane. String theory. So this is like different choices and options. So different futures, options. So it looks like them being able to run through this could be 5D and maybe if you want to highball what Mixie says, 6-dimensional. You could argue that, like, only certain beings can enter it, and you could argue Flash could go bypass that, which could be low complex multiversal speeds. But it's hard to really say that hypertime in this case is consistent with all of it, because this would imply that the Flash is faster than Lucifer, Morningstar, the Spectre, and many other characters who transcend all of this. And I don't think that really applies in that case. I think just whoever may have told you that may have probably tried to highball the scan out of the contextual meaning of its purpose, because this doesn't really tell, at least to me, and I apologize if that's not the answer you're looking for, but to me it doesn't give me the intention. It doesn't tell me it's out of Versal speed. Like, it doesn't tell me he's like, oh, I go beyond every single aspect of crevice and of the multiverse, because there's parts of the multiverse that even Mr. Mixie cannot interact with, like 10th dimensional beings and such. And the only Mixie who fought the 10th dimensional being was like it was like a different version of him for the Supergirl type of comic. And anyway, but I get what you're saying though. It's still good. Ashura. Oh yeah, it's already 8:30, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon. Ashura though, I probably would have him at lower multiversal to immeasurable speed. It's kind of hard. But I'll have to relook into my Ashura's Wrath notes. Think of the video game where you respawn somewhere. That's how Hulk is immortal. Yeah, that is true. You have the one below all, and it's like Broly will win the matchup, but the Hulk really won't die because the Hulk itself. Maybe Andre, tell me this real quick. Banner will die. But the Hulk will not, technically, right? And the Hulk is who takes over Banner. And I don't know if it's true. Isn't the Hulk and Banner one? Aw, thank you, Amena. I appreciate it. Okay, so that's Ramira Tempest. But yeah, overall, versus Battle Wiki. hell? You guys, they literally contradicted themselves. They're going to say, Goku isn't low multiverse, but Whis is. How is Whis low multiversal? Is it because he surpasses Infinite Zamasu? No, it's because he can survive the annihilation. Like, well, that doesn't make sense. That's so stupid. Like, if destroying those universes count, then you are automatically including Zamasu, Infinite Zamasu, to being in those ranges. And he infinitely transcends them. So they literally are going against their own grain. And then this guy. I don't know if this guy's commenting again. I'd say hacks are not no limits fallacy. Your argument is equal to saying a strong character can hit a weak intangible character. Because they are stronger? Goku can't bypass fate manipulation. Okay. I'm going to give one more response to this comment. All right. If there is no scans to articulate their usage, for example, all right, let's see here. For example, is the concept of death in Dragon Ball as complex as, all right, let's see. Is death from Castlevania the same as Death of the Endless? Despite controlling the same aspect / concept? Of course not. No, she's way higher and stronger. Hacks have a limit. And you need to show their exemplified usage. Exemplified, look at me. I'm trying to use big old words. You have to show their exampled uses within the series to support the claim that they'll have an effect to this magnitude. Furthermore, you cannot assert Mario saving Peach via plot-based fate cannot be negated via a stronger character. That's like asserting Mario can defeat the Presence, the one above all, or Reinhardt. No, Reinhardt. I can't use Reinhardt as an example. Let's think of another example. PR Beyonder. Just because he has to save Princess Peach. That is why it is a no limits fallacy. You can't assume Mario can just rise to the occasion versus every freaking character. Because if we did that, Mario would be tier 0. Otherwise, he would be tier 0. Let me see here. I hate this cap lock. Let's see here. Otherwise, he'd be tier 0. Which is just wrong. Do you guys get, I don't know, does anyone in the chat get what I'm saying? You guys see why this is a no limits fallacy, right? Let me see here. Interesting. I have him at low multiversal, but I don't see how he has immeasurable speed. At best, I say infinite speed since he can't move in frozen time. I've been trying. Yep. It's really being universal just because that level I get screamed at least. That would be a false equivalence to say all deaths are the same across other verses. Good job. Thank you, Gohan. Which version of Superman Goku can beat Archie Sonic? Xeno Goku. Super Dragon Ball Heroes Goku can fight Archie Sonic. What version of Goku can beat Cosmic Armor? Probably 4D movie Goku or a high bald Dragon Ball Heroes Goku can fight Cosmic Armor. It'd be a hard battle though, but he could probably keep up with him, because that Goku transcends his comic book and transcends his video game and his fiction. So yeah, I do. All right, that's good. I'm glad you guys agree and you guys understand. Hacks, yes, thank you, Isaac. Hacks are overrated. You can't assert that. That's completely wrong. It's like,
Well, Mario has to always save Peach, so if he fought the living Tribunal, he will win.
so why don't you just put him at tier 0 if his fate hacks is that high? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, we're gonna finish up in the last one. So again, how does Mario's fate hacks scale to beings beyond his conception / power? This is, yeah. I'm a shout out to Gohan for that. This is a no limits. It's a false equivalence to assert his fate manipulation. I'm going crazy. And the last part is so it's false equivalence, no limits fallacy, and what's the last one we're going to look for? An ad nauseum. That's the term. This is an ad nauseum. Look at me. Look at me using big fancy words, because you are not giving a proper rejoinder. You're not giving a proper rejoinder, or let's say rebuttal, to what I've asked. Rejoinder, or I say rejoinder. No, let's not say rejoinder. Let's say proof. You're not giving proper proof to what I've asked in terms of how does his fate hacks scales. Mario is really strong, but you can't just say that, well, he has fate hacks, so he beats Goku. Do you think Cosmic Armor can beat Zeno in Dragon Ball Heroes? Depends on what arc Xenogoku you could use, because he surpassed his fusion self several times. He did. Yeah, Xenogoku has fate manipulation, because Demigra can change the fate of time, history, aspects. He can literally turn someone against them. He could change the outcome of infinite possibilities. And the Fate anime is very good. Zowski is very, very good. Fate anime is very worth watching. But yeah, DC Cosmology, don't kill me, but I have a lot of characters at baseline Outerversal, and no, they're not consistent. I just take characters at their best if they were consistent. Yeah, I take characters at their best if they were consistent as well. Gohan, in my opinion, only a select few characters in DC are Outerversal, and most of them are high hyperversal and such. I don't really have too many Outerversals. I do believe the monitors in the monitor would be, and I think Grant Morrison makes it clear. Cosmic Armor Superman is like as strong as like Gabriel Greyhorn, I think his name is, or man, I forgot his name. It's like, and then Michael and the Lucifer character. I think like, Cosmic Armor is like up in those angelic tiers, because his goal is to defend the entirety of the DC multiverse. Lucifer and them don't need to be part of the DC multiverse if they don't want to be, and they pretty much are above the Endless. So you got like a lot of the Endless who are all Outerversal. You got all the monitors in the monitor realm, and they should be Outerversal as well. All the Angels should be Outerversal. The Spectra should be Outerversal because he fought Michael. So the Spectra at his best, in my opinion, is Outerversal easily. Lower Outerversal because Michael kind of slapped him, but he still is up there, etc. If I were to see I've seen people hype up Cosmic Armor because of that. I want to duck him down. Sly Cooper versus Carmen Sandiego. Pretty interesting interdimensional feats from some of his other games. Yeah, he's strong, but they overdo his adaptation. Thank you, Amena. I appreciate it. One of my favorite supporters. Oh, all right, guys. I gotta eat. Probably gonna make some fish or beef. Beef or fish. Probably some fish, because there's a little bit. And we could probably make some with the mashed potatoes. I'm gonna make some garlic mashed potatoes again with some green onions, saturated some nice butter and salt. oregano in order to give it some flavor, and then I'm gonna use goat milk, a little bit of goat milk, not too much, just enough goat milk to kind of get the consistency going and give it that nice flavor, you know, it's a beautiful nice flavor. But anyway, I don't know, that's a hard one. I gotta look more into SCP. I look into SCP. Yeah, I'm gonna have this live stream saved. I'll let it be launched as a regular video. You could watch it again. It's gonna be long. Oh man, this live stream went for like 3 hours, man. But yeah, yeah. I mean, Zowski, if you want some, bro. Yeah, but that's pretty much been it, guys. So yeah, that's me responding to the Versus Battle Wiki. I'm just gonna mark all as read because I don't respond to everyone. I mean, some people just kind of become ad nauseum. Like this guy's just been saying the same thing. Like
You can't affect his fate hacks.
Like, all right, so by that logic, Mario has to always save Peach, so he won't die. Mario has lives, and Mario could still get game over in the game's continuity, so that doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, that's not canon. There's a screen where Bowser's laughing, so I don't know. Does that not count? Hey, come on, like, be real with yourself. I think Goku defeats everyone in Smash, every character, and that includes. The only character you could possibly say, because the people were like, well, how strong is Goku? He's like, oh, well, he scales. Like, the only characters you have on this list that are very dangerous for Goku is Mario because of the Super Dementio feats. And I think he's canon to Paper Mario. You got Mario Super Dementio. You got Shulk, who is also infinite multiversal in the Xenoverse Chronicles art book, which confirms there's infinite parallel worlds. You have Rin from Persona 5, Bayonetta, who's like low multiversal, but even still, but her time manipulation, Goku will find that annoying. He'll still one-shot her, but he'll just find it a little bit annoying. And Sephiroth and Cloud don't scale to their Smash Brothers counterpart, so Sephiroth in Smash Brothers is like complex multiversal plus or more because he's above the Master Hands the Master Hand who's transcend above Arceus. Arceus is like infinite multiversal. And Master Hand transcend that. Taboo is above Master Hand. And Master Hand is like infinitely spawned by Galeem. So Galeem could be argued even higher. Yet Galeem got one shot by Sephiroth in his base form. And Cloud was able to go even with Sephiroth. Meaning Cloud and Sephiroth and Heroes are probably the strongest characters in the Smash continuity with Kirby. So yeah, but there's people like, oh no, they're only universal because Galeem is only universal. Like no, that's not. You have to include all continuities of Smash. That includes Melee. That includes the original 64. The Master Hand is like a real life person. He transcends fiction, so or at least transcends their Smash Brothers fiction. So Smash Bros. That's what you can see. Look at the blue. I voted for Smash Brothers because I was assuming that they were as strong as they were. Like, I'm assuming we're talking about complex multiversal Sheik, complex multiversal Yoshi, high complex, low hyperversal Kirby, DK, Pit, etc., Cloud, Sephiroth, and all of them. But since they said, oh, I'm talking about their real counterparts, I'm like, oh, if you're talking about their canon counterparts, then canon counterparts get slaughtered. There ain't a single Nintendo character that's complex multiversal tier at the level that Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is. So although Ichigo, Natsu, Naruto and Luffy struggle, Goku is going to carry the team. In fact, Goku can give some of his key energy to most of them and just make them as strong or up there. So, he can give them the God Key and teach them how to use it. Or Goku could just teach him the Potara fusion, fuse with Naruto and Ichigo, and just soul crush everyone within a multiversal radiance. I mean, you don't want a Potara, Goku, and Naruto. Naruto's chakra, which is nigh infinite because the way the Ninetales can generate how much chakra he has. Like, the Ninetales is ridiculous how much chakra it has. And you got Ichigo who can absorb ray energy around him. Like, come on. Like, that's a spite match. But anyway. No, 6D is low complex multiversal. Because a 5D is like infinite parallels. Now imagine all those infinite parallel universes existing into one big ball. And then imagine there's an infinite set of those balls. That is 6D. That is a complex multiverse tier. Jump Force versus Smash Brothers. Jump Force wins. And Dragon Ball versus Dragon Quest. That would be interesting. But I will scale Fate in the future. Yeah. I can look at that Gohan. I will look at it for his outerversal hacks. Martian Manhunter. If Martian Manhunter's that strong, then you're gonna need Xeno Piccolo to fight him. No, Luffy's strong. Luffy's base form is Continental Plus, or large country level, because Luffy's base form surpassed his Gear 4th self, and Gear 4 is much stronger than Luffy's Gear 2nd is stronger than Chinzhou already. And Chinzhou already announced that Sai would be Continental Plus. Or at least, no, he said Sai would be able to destroy the ice continent too, which is Antarctica. And I believe the calc for splitting Antarctica made of crystal ice sheet, which the crystal ice sheet is harder than diamond. So being able to split a continent that's as hard as diamond on a continental size all the way to the horizon and back, that shows that Chinzhou could split a continent of ice, which means he's large country. And Gear 4 being 5 times, Gear 2nd being 5 times above that, since Gear 2nd one-shot Sai earlier, Luffy is at least continental in his base form. By the time he fights Katakuri, Luffy should be at least continental in base. And Gear 4 is like multi-continental. Gear 4 is multi-continental. That's why people were saying the Yonko are moon level by scaling, moon level plus or small planetary. And that's consistent because look at Whitebeard. And then we got rocks. And I didn't even scale rocks yet, so that's a lot. But yeah. Yeah, Chrono Trigger is a pretty strong world. Chrono Trigger is definitely up there too. Toriyama always makes broken universes, but that's pretty much been about it. I'm going to go... Ooh! I hit the light above me. I'm going to go make some universes. I'm going to... Look at me, I'm talking too much. I'm going to go make some mashed potatoes, some peas and corn, and probably some spinach. Peas, corn, spinach, fish, and yeah. Peas, corn, spinach, fish, and mashed potatoes. Probably some salmon, some char salmon. I think I might do butter garlic this time though. But okie dokie. All right, guys, this has been me, Atari HMB, and I'm about to sign off. So thank you everyone for watching. I kind of went way beyond my time limit. I have that as a bad habit, but thank you for everyone who's been supportive. Our max view count today was pretty good. We reached up to 12 views at maximum. And the chat rate was about 2 people at a time, so it shows the chat was active. If this keeps up, I will be doing a live potential reward, which may include me doing commission artwork, because as you guys know, I do artwork. If you type in Atari HMB, you will see. You type Atari HMB on Twitter, you will see some of my artwork I've posted on Twitter and such. I do commissioning. I can draw many different anime characters. And I will, and if you like, for example, let's say if I pick a winner, let's say if someone like Nagfar won, and they said I want like Rainbow Star and I don't know, I know that I'm just looking at the My Little Pony icon. Like if they said I want My Little Pony going Ultra Instinct or something like that, I could probably do something like that, as a reward for just once we hit the 500, and I'll pick a random winner from there. And I just want to keep you guys coming as well. But yeah, you guys should have the link to my Twitter on my main profile page. And that should be pretty much about it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you. Look forward to the next stream as well. This has been Atari HMB, and I'm signing off. Peace out, everyone. Say bye, Nakuru. I'm stupid. Say goodbye, Nakururu. All right, she's not saying bye, but I think all right. She's just going to leave. She's just going to make her way out of the chat, and yeah, all right, traitor. But all right, peace out.